Yo, everyone, welcome to FSP Fun Speculation Podcast, episode number 54. This is going to be an interesting week because guess what? It's a Monday with really no big gaming news for once in a while. Usually there's some juicy stuff on a Monday. Today was a little light. You know, we covered a lot of stuff on all of our shows last week as well. And I did a late night stream last night too. I appreciate everybody who stopped by and checked that out as well. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun conversations, and in this show, decided, hey, let's do something different without the gaming news. We're about 3 months away from E3 time, summer games season time. So maybe we can have a little bit of an early look ahead and see like what could we possibly expect this summer with the gaming news season coming up, because we got a lot of games coming out over the next couple months. But you know what? It's going to be a fun time leading all the way up to there. But I think with all of these games hitting, it leads up to some amazing possibilities. So we're going to talk a lot about that. Of course, we'll also have the games coming out for this week as well. You know, so there's a lot to discuss. And I appreciate the chat here hanging out already. We see lots of awesome names. Talos Re, Def Leppard, Camp Easy, Tony Grasso, Tom from Toonami. Shout out to Tom from Toonami who hit me with the super chat last night on the stream. Hit me in the feels a little bit, dude. Thanks for that. Appreciate you for getting me emotional on the stream last night. It was amazing. Shout out to Kay Asante. It's Teme. Everybody here hanging out. You all rock. What's up, Nighturnal as well. Let's get to this amazing panel so we can have a fun show. Start with the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere, the always Fuzzy. How's it going with you, man?
Going pretty good, and man, glad to be here with you guys. Maybe a little bit late on gaming news, but there's always stuff to talk about, especially with E3 not too many weeks away from now. So definitely looking forward to a lot of stuff that we could possibly see during that whole deal. But man, it's going to be a good night. I can tell it.
Yeah, it's actually less far away than a Halo Infinite season, right? So
yeah,
pretty coming around the corner. It'll be here faster than we think, but especially with this like slate of games just gonna hit us like crazy. What's up with you, Jasper? How you doing, man?
going all right. I started downloading some mods for cities and skylines, so I've been trying to get into that a little bit. I got one where you can buy all the land, so you can make a bit even bigger city now. So that's what I've been doing.
They have mods for console. Is that PC mods only?
They have some on console. Paradox does a thing where you can like go to their website and download console mods for most of their games. Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Do you just go to the website and does it trigger to download on your console?
I'm not too sure. The only game I did it for was the like Alien Colony sim they had, but I know that Paradox has it for City Skylines on Xbox. I think there's like 2 or 3 games they have console mod support for.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool, man. I might actually check that out. I've seen you and Psycho both playing City Skylines quite a bit last week or so after that Paradox show. Hey, 3-bit. We all of us acknowledge the fact that for some reason 3-bit's camera is looking extra crispy right now. So
no idea why.
Yeah, it's really cool though, man. I'm glad you're here as usual on FSP. How are you doing?
Pretty good. It's been like a crazy work week with this duck and this Aflac duck and this the Gap Goat is what they call it, his nemesis.
Gap Goat, like the Gap, the clothing brand, or
no, it's supposed to be like the Gap that health insurance doesn't cover. Like he's supposed to be the nemesis.
Okay.
To the duck.
Yeah.
So
got it.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend with this. So I haven't been able to play a lot of games. I did get Sons of the Forest, so I do want to jump into that at some point.
I've seen some interesting videos on that where they're like chasing some woman through the forest and like stabbing her with spears because she's like too spooked.
Whoa, what is?
I love the first one. So
what is Sons of the Forest? Like, this is a game that I'm sure I've seen videos of it, but it's always one that I think that just like escape my mind. What is it?
It's like a survival game. Usually, the first one you started at an airplane, you crash and you're on this island, and you can play the game several ways. You could just play and just like build up a base and just chill, or you can actually discover what the story is, which is finding your son. So you
There's
basically go
a
out and venture out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
every night there's a bunch of naked people that kind of run around and try to like steal your
That
shit and
too.
like kill you.
It's very
Wow.
creepy. Like you'll have people like come to your camp and they won't attack you. They'll just look at what you have. They'll basically run to your base and be like, it looks like you're setting up a base there, and they'll come back with more people. So that's what it's really freaky the way they do it. They'll have like a scouter come out and look at your base, and they're like, okay, and they'll come back with like an army of people and try to take your base down, which is so I really love the first one, and the second one seems even more ambitious. Like you can have an AI companion who basically like speaks sign language, and you have him build parts of your base this time, which is super cool. And yeah, I haven't played a lot of PC games in a while, so
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to check it out. It's
This
like a
game
first-person
is
survival game.
PC only.
Yeah, sadly.
Okay.
Sadly.
Well,
I think they
stay
might
away.
have did a PS thing. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's PC only.
I don't think the first one ever came to console, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to our good buddy Psychonauts, who's not on this episode today. He's feeling a little under the weather here, so he's taking the night off unless he decides all of a sudden, hey, I got a second wind, and he just
All
pops
that
in
fish
randomly.
in Fish City.
Yeah, probably so.
He's taking his PTO.
Well, everybody, cue the dramatic sounds, because this is a public service announcement. Manscaped now has beard products and is going even further with their brand new Weed Whacker 2.0. Go ahead and tell the world the leaders in below-the-waist grooming are traveling north of your South Pole with their revolutionary grooming products. The new Weed Whacker 2.0 and their new beard line confirms they have all the best tools for your hygiene toolbox. Time for you to upgrade your game by going to manscaped.com and using our code FUNSPECULATION for 20% off plus free shipping. Again, it's 20% off and free shipping, so that's a really good deal. All you got to do is use our code FUNSPECULATION at manscaped.com. Get that Beard Hedger Pro Kit. It cuts hair really well if you want to look nice and silky and stuff, like 3-bit down there, right? 20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com. Always use the right tools for the job. All right. Thanks to our sponsor, manscaped.com. And again, thanks everybody for watching the show tonight. So like I said beforehand, like there's not like a lot of news. I mean, there's obviously the ongoing stuff like with FTC, ABK, CMA, all that stuff. More shenanigans coming out with the FTC today. We can touch on that for a minute. Like, it seems like they want a bigger budget, and they asked for like an increase, like a 37% budget increase today. And it has kind of come out, and people are like, well, your like batting average isn't very good, so why do you want more money? Is that like, I don't want to read into like too much like political parties and like all of the different organizations like and regulators and stuff and budgets and things like that, but I see quite a few people laughing at that right now. Did you see that today, Fuzz?
Yeah, and as someone that used to be in the military, father used to be in the military as well as government, and I remember the famous saying that if you want a bigger budget for like any government office, you have to spend up all the money from the previous year. So if you don't spend up the previous budget, you're not going to get a budget increase. But when it comes to this FTC deal, like you said, their batting average is like 0 and 6. So them asking for more money, I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably spent up all the money that they had allocated for the budget last year,
failing all those cases.
Yeah, it's like, oh, see, we spent all we had and we lost the cases. Now we need more money, so hopefully we can win a case. And I don't know, until the FTC starts following more of, consumer protection first, as opposed to anti-big business, as their motto. I don't know if they're going to get the budget that they want. It's already seen as kind of
they expect to
lost
go
cause
against Microsoft with and they're almost out of money. Or that was just literally a thought I had when you said
It's
that.
like they're out of money. They just can't fight it anymore. Like we're broke.
Yeah.
Like,
They're like,
I think
we need
they have
wire
bigger
transfer.
concerns on their hand right now. Like there's like 5 U.S. banks that have like started collapsing. So
Yes.
yeah,
they need to
it's
focus on something else besides their budget.
yeah.
No,
That's a good point.
I know we're well, they already have the FIC stuff or the federal protection for like the bank deposits and whatnot, but man, oh man, that was kind of scary stuff. But I think luckily we're no, I don't want to sound like I'm coming across like the anti-bank guy, but it's like luckily we're not like bailing those banks out in the sense of like if you make bad investments, shame on you, but the guarantee of money for the people that patronize their banks, will at least be covered, and the shareholders of those banks are kind of SOL at that point. But FTC wise, I don't foresee them getting any more budget expansions or expansions in comparison to previous year, with them having that losing record. Like I could be wrong, because like I said in the past, the running joke is always, if you want a bigger budget, spend all the money of the previous budget. But even if they did that, I don't think that they're on the track where they could use those funds properly or to the benefit of the consumer. So
it seems like they're trying to fight too many things and wasting their money is what it sounds like. It's that's how it comes across to me anyway, is like, well, we're putting all this effort into all these things, so like why do you need like a bigger budget when you've shown that you're wasting money? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But
well, I mean, that's just how government budgets work. Like you always see like there's like states where they're like, we're going to give like $2 billion to help the homeless, and then like 100 million of that actually goes to help the homeless. It's like, where the hell did the other 190 million dollars go?
Where does their budget go to? I would imagine is mostly like salaries and like paying for like lawyers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
salaries, overtime, court fees.
Yeah, which they've wasted a lot of money on. That's what I'm saying. Like,
you have 6 lost court cases, I think. Was it 6 or 7?
The only thing they were successful on was like the ARM deal, I think, with the like NVIDIA. But like that was probably like the easy win anyway, like across all of them. So it was like, well, and it wasn't just them. You know what I mean? It's like I don't think anybody wanted to let that deal go through either. So, I feel like I've seen people say, well, what about this deal? They did a great job with that. Well, I mean, like, it's not all them, first off. And, like, even if you count that as a victory, 1 out of 7 is not good, right? And it's about to be 1 out of 8 if they keep fighting this. And maybe they'll run out of money and just be, okay, I guess we have to approve it.
Then they'll just shut down and be like, we'll get to it when we come back.
Yeah.
You just wait right there. I need more money, but I want to fight this.
We can't pay our lawyers to fight you, so you know what I mean. It is what it is. Yeah. They start paying in IOUs.
They'll find a way. They're the government.
Maybe Lena Khan will start standing outside of a Walmart with a sign that says, "I can't feed my kids."
If you cannot afford a lawyer, we'll appoint one to you. So they just get like the free lawyer that the government appoints to them.
Yeah, the public defender. Better call Saul.
He comes in there just like, all right, what we got here?
Saul Goodman here. I'm here to not allow this Microsoft acquisition to go through. Oh my god, FTC is such a joke. Kate said that too. We're both watching Better Call Saul right now. We just recently went and watched the entire 5 seasons of Breaking Bad. Then we followed up, watched El Camino. It's just one of those shows we just for some reason like just let go and never got into. So we finally was like, hey, let's do it. Right, let's just do it. Like we were looking for another show, and we got through all 5 seasons. Then we watched El Camino to get the follow up on the Jesse Pinkman story. Now we're watching Better Call Saul. And we're just completely enjoying.
Some people like Better Call Saul better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
which is interesting.
The
Yeah.
first season's great so far of Better Call Saul. Like, but if you just like, I remember I watched the first episode or 2 episodes of Better Call Saul a long time ago. I was like, okay, I wasn't invested, but now I understand why, because all these characters, like I know now, like Mike, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before it was just the toll booth guy, you know, like at the outside of the courthouse, but now he's Mike from Breaking Bad. So, you know, like it has different context and meaning. So can't wait to see what happens with that show. Harry Ballsack says, I like meth. Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I guess be careful with that stuff, man. I'll just say be careful with that. God Emperor SofaKing, FTC can unwind mergers. Yeah, they can.
I am the one who knocks.
They can. So that's one thing, but it's also a fight to do that as well. So they're gonna have, whatever happens with the ABK thing, Microsoft's gonna have to uphold their end of the bargain, whatever that is, and if they screw that up, then they're in trouble, right? So that's one thing that I think should appease most of these regulators out there. But besides that, like I said, everybody, there's not a lot of gaming news. This is a Monday, slow, right? Like,
one thing I saw that I haven't really even noticed is Forza DLC comes out in 2 weeks.
with the rally stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even know that came out that soon. I thought it was like later on. But
I honestly thought it came out probably within a week or two. I would have assumed, because they announced it a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of this month that they announced it and stuff. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's just a matter of I was hoping they were going to go a slightly different direction, but I think the closer we get to it, the more fun I'll have with it.
Do you know, Fuzzy, if this one comes in that like I bought the season pass thing for like $50 when the game first came out? Does that DLC come with that? Or?
Yes, it does.
This is the second.
The only time you won't get this if you purchase like any afterward stuff is if you only bought the $20 deal that was just for the one DLC. Although I think they had even offered where you could get the 2 DLCs for like $19.99 at some point, but the $50 deal gives you like all the cars you've already gotten as far as like the car pass stuff, the 2 DLCs, the Hot Wheels and the rally racing stuff. And there's a couple other things that are like map related and VIP wheel spins and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they would ever
$50 deal comes with everything.
Consider doing this stuff in Game Pass Ultimate, you know, like with those big Forza expansions. I understand they sell them and they sell that $50 bundle and stuff, and they made probably a killing on the $50 bundle around launch time, right? Especially with Game Pass, because it's not a bad deal. You get all the extra content, extra cars.
You got to play it 3 days early.
You got to play it early. They didn't give you the damn like $3 thing, you know, where everybody goes and gets to find all the locations and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they still make you pay the $3. That's I gotta say, Forza. That's ridiculous. Like, one thing I got to call out, that's ridiculous. Like, if you're paying $3 for like a cheat code kind of.
To be fair, like if you have a second monitor, you can do that for free. You just pull up someone else's map.
Right. It's just weird that that's even a thing. However, it doesn't matter, you know. But it would be cool, I think, if they started maybe with the next one, like Game Pass Ultimate, to have that stuff. Not because I'm like thinking, oh, Microsoft's greedy for trying to charge us. Not anything like that. But I just think you would get a better resurgence of players into the game, right? Because you're only going to get the people that are willing to pay for the DLC or the expansions with this. So it's not like of a resurgence as like some of these games that have huge updates and everybody gets it. You know what I mean? But
they kind of did something similar, like with, I think it was Gears, that gave you a lot of the DLC for the Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. They should consider doing something along those lines. Like if it's not going to be at, let's say, launch, have it where maybe it's a month or two behind or something at worst. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to see some of the perks to the game. Like that $3 thing for the map would be kind of cool as one of those Game Pass Ultimate perks type of deal. But I've been using I guess you can call them like dynamic maps. There's a website where for free you can log in and they have like all the little icons for everything. I think if you do a sign up with your email, you can have it where it will keep track. So you could say, all right, I already found this one, and it remembers it the next time you log in. so that way you don't have to worry about all the billboards or all the hidden treasures and stuff like that. But yeah, they should do something for Game Pass Ultimate to kind of, even if it's just the car VIP pass or something, just one of those add-ons.
I haven't paid attention to this new DLC. Do we get like a new section of the map to play on?
It's supposed to be a new map. I don't think it's as large as the original map, but not too far, not that much smaller. But it's going to be bigger than, like, I think what the Hot Wheels map was, even though technically the Hot Wheels map is supposed to be above the original map. But
so this is kind of like their Storm Island DLC they did for 4 or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be bigger than the Storm Island map, smaller than the original map, but probably closer in size to the original map for Horizon 5. I think there's 10 new cars, but a lot of those cars are like updated,
I have 500 cars,
versions
just whatever.
And then they're doing like an update to the exhaust, and like you'll see a lot more backfiring stuff as far as from the exhaust. They're, I think, having it where you can tune or tweak the turbos that you can use for rally racing and things. They already had rally tires in there, and they're doing, I guess, an upgrade on like the dust particle effects and things like that. And then you'll have the helicopter co-pilot. But there's a few nice add-ons that they're doing with this DLC. It's just, I was hoping they were going to go kind of the other route, where a lot of people, at least here in Pennsylvania, used to always joke, if they're, I know street racing is illegal, but if they were doing quote unquote street racing, they're like, oh yeah, we took a trip to Mexico, and you would see like the videos on YouTube, and you could clearly see it was like, oh no, that's I-95 they're on or whatever. But I was hoping they would do something along the lines where it'd be like street racing and stuff like that, because there was that rumor that there was going to be a drag racing DLC or something.
That's like my favorite thing to do in Horizon, and you always get like 2 tracks and they last like 10 seconds. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw the picture of the map for the rally. I mean, it looks pretty massive. So the only disappointing thing for me that I saw was was only 10 new cars for it. So like it would make it, even though, I mean, you can take all of your other cars into it also, right? But like, for me, it would be really cool if it had like its own like bigger library, maybe 20, 30 cars of just rally stuff. You know what I mean? But 10 cars probably be good enough combined with because you can make a lot of the cars you have already rally cars also. Yeah. And there's already plenty in there. So, but it would be pretty cool. It looks massive, the map, the picture of it. And with the most exciting thing though, for me with the Forza Rally expansion is what they're doing with the sand and stuff. Right. Because, and again, this is like only on Series X and S, right? I believe. Didn't they say that? Like you can't play this expansion on original on Xbox One?
Yeah, you can't do it on the original Xbox One or Xbox One X. It's basically next gen only at this point.
And that's because of that sand and stuff. So they're implementing something now that's like not possible on old gen hardware, right? So that's pretty cool in my opinion. And I wonder if that's gonna change. And will that, I wonder, affect the rest of the map as well, the areas that we already had? Like, will the sand areas and stuff, will they be improved? Or
that's a good question. I don't think they've gone into detail yet, but if it's anything like, well, a lot of the stuff that they do, it may not occur you may not see the upgrade on the regular map. Now, I would say on PC, you probably will have that option. Maybe on the Series X and Series S, you'll have that option, but I'm assuming on the previous consoles, it'll continue to look the same as it always has. But maybe, just maybe, the series consoles may get like a patch or an update where it's across, both maps type of thing.
Yeah. Shout out to my lovely wife, Kaylin, who has officially removed the Marchers logo from our emojis and has
replaced only March 13th. There's still time.
Has replaced it with Septembros. So the Marchers are now the Septembros officially. That was somebody in the chat actually super chatted Septembros, and I can't remember who it was, but they named us now. So shout out, we're all excited for Starfield's September launch, and the leadway from here to that point is going to be busy. I mean, we got that in what 2 weeks? You said, right, Jasper?
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Um,
Forza thing.
So we have Forza Rally to look forward to, followed by Minecraft Legends, right?
Mhm.
A few weeks after that, right? Followed by Redfall a few weeks after that, and then followed by the E3 showcase, right?
Yeah.
Which will be like roughly around 6 weeks or so, maybe after the launch of Redfall.
Yeah, Calarie will put out a thing for like the major Xbox stuff coming out the next few months.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said Sea of Thieves Season 9 in 3 days, Forza Rally 16 days, Minecraft Legends 36, Redfall 50, Elder Scrolls Online DLC 84 days, Starfield Direct 90, and Xbox Showcase 90 days.
When's
Mhm.
Ghostwire come out?
They can't talk about it yet, but
I know,
Yeah.
but when's it supposed to
presumably
come out?
It should be
March-
after the 25th.
yeah, March
25th is when it
25th
launched
is
on
when it came out.
PS5.
So
So basically, like March.
a week after, maybe. Yeah.
6, 20, something really close.
This show's really fitting though, because today we're exactly 90 days away from the E3 show. Then that's pretty cool. Also the there was some news today about another Xbox Game Studios game being published by Oxide Games, or being made by Oxide Games, being published by Xbox Game Studios. This is part of the global publishing side, similar to what will be like Contraband and other
And the Rod
games.
Ferguson thing also happened today,
What was the Rod Ferguson
Where-
thing?
where he was talking about how like Diablo is they don't have any plans for Diablo to come on Game Pass, and I'm like, you're not gonna really have a choice. That's what I tweeted on
Well, he
Twitter.
can't say anything right now. I
Yeah.
mean, he has no
Yeah.
plans because
I
they're not
mean-
owned right now by Microsoft. But like when ABK is owned by Microsoft, like publishing
Also,
side,
he won't get to say in that final decision
Yeah.
anyway.
I know, 'cause
Yeah.
that's sort of what happened with
I think he's trying to put it
From
out there early
Bethesda.
because Diablo is supposed to launch before this ABK deal may
Yeah.
close. So he doesn't want people to like not pre-order the game because of the
Yeah.
anticipation for the ABK deal to close. And I think when the game launches, unless for whatever reason this deal does close ahead of time, when this game launches, it won't launch into Game Pass day one yet. But as soon as the deal does get closed and they can put those games into Game Pass, that's when it'll probably hit.
it's just like this is gonna be another thing the media can use. Could be like, look, it's not in Game Pass, and then like, look, developers force or Xbox forced it into Game Pass when it happened.
It's going to be a thing with all of these titles. Like Overwatch will be in Game Pass, Diablo will be in Game Pass, all these things, but they won't be in Game Pass until this deal's done, the actual closing happens, and all of that kind of stuff. So it'll be
Yeah.
probably, I don't know, later this year sometime. I would assume, right? I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
a month after closing. How long did it take for the ZeniMax Bethesda games to get into Game Pass after?
It was less than 30 days, I think.
Yeah.
Was it?
Like
Somewhere was,
from the
like,
time
really
they said they
quick.
closed, I think it was within 30 days. The only exception to
I know they
that
did like
remember-
2 major batches. They did like a lot
Yeah.
of the
They-
Elder
they
Scrolls
did 'em in waves.
Fallout stuff, and then
Yeah.
like they did a lot of the Doom side of
They
things.
didn't just say like, here's like 100 games at once. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was like they did like certain games at certain times. I think that's kind of how it's going to go too.
Yeah.
Call of Duty may not be in Game Pass this year either. Who knows? Because like if they still have that PlayStation marketing deal through 2024, the
But
contract
that's
that
for
they have
future
may prevent
games,
that.
right? I don't know if that's for.
They could put the
past
pass cods in there probably. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Mhm.
It
Okay.
depends on what
Yeah.
both those contracts.
I'm
say,
sure they
you know.
probably have a contract to say like 120 days it can't come into competing servers or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But
And
Like
then
all
these
Call of Duty
contracts are the
titles.
same thing that's going to be exposed to the CMA or to the FTC that's going to get Sony in trouble.
because that was
Probably.
what was in the Capcom documents. They said they like
Yeah.
Capcom had to like talk to him within like 90 days,
and
of
they
it or
had, like,
something, and like they had to
first
have
rights of
128.
First
day
rights of
period,
refusal
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
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 So it's just ridiculous language.
So
was in there.
crazy.
And then they had to like, even that's why Deathloop was in PlayStation Plus, because Microsoft had to make it available to them for PlayStation Plus, right? So it's going to get interesting when it closes. But besides that, like, that Rod Ferguson statement doesn't surprise me really. But we did get some other news from Oxide Games game, which was part of the E3 show last year. Aura History Untold.
Mhm.
they had their second alpha technical test as well. This is a grand strategy game. Originally, we didn't ever know if it was coming to console and PC, but it looked like they made it official at some point that it's just going to be PC. If it does get a console version, it'll probably be like way later. But the cool stuff is that, like, I was watching the little video they put out for this alpha technical test that Psycho had shared it with us in our DMs. That game looks like pretty damn cool, man. It looks like way bigger and more massive than I thought it was going to be. So that, although like the only downside is, like, from what I see and what they said during their little video, that game, I don't know if it's actually going to hit this year. That was one of those games that was like 12-month window games at their showcase last year. But for me, what they said is, like, to sign up for future alphas, sign up here, right? And they just finished second alpha, and they didn't really have any kind of more news.
Was it supposed to come into game preview first, or was it supposed to come out in that 12 months? Did they say that?
I don't know.
Okay.
The host had asked them a question, and she was like, "What can you tell players? That is there going to be a beta, or like what is the road leading up to launch?" Right? And they just left it like simple as, well, first off, if you want to find out about future alphas or anything like that, go to the insiders, sign up for the insider program and stuff like that. So for me, it sounds like there may be at least one or two more alphas out there. And the way they were talking, like, they're still like in deep development on this game, because they're talking about the changes they made on the fly from Alpha 1 to Alpha 2, and they learned a lot, and they're going to keep implementing stuff. For me, Aura right now, if I was to guess, sounds like it's a 2024 game from that, and it's not even probably coming to console anyway. But that was another one of the first party things that was at that show last year that might miss. But it is what it is. I don't think there's gonna be a big outcry for people on that one. But the good news is it does look really cool, man. Like anybody that is interested in like strategy games or anything like that, check out the Aura website and the videos. Like, there's some tweets too. You can follow them on Twitter, because this game looks pretty massive, and it's cool, I think, for Xbox and to invest in games like this, because it's like, it's not just a shooter box, not just an RPG. Like, this is Xbox is more than just Xbox, like consoles, right? Like, this is across all things, PC side as well. So Aura looks pretty cool. So
have you seen the finals?
Yeah, that's the one that people talking about. It's like a battle royale thing, right?
Yeah, it's by Embark. It's a battle royale, like, game show like thing where you have to like find a cube and get money or some shit, and like everything's you can destroy everything like old Battlefield used to be able to be. So
yeah, it's kind of it's from the same developers from Bad Company too, like a lot of the same devs.
Yeah.
So a lot of the environment is really destructible, and you can like I seen gameplay where this one team was pushing, trying to get this one box essentially, but they couldn't, because the team was pretty much just waiting for them, so they just blew up the floor and had it like drop down, and then they grabbed it. So it's pretty cool.
That same team is the one making Arc Raiders too, right?
Yeah.
Is it Riders or Raiders?
Raiders, I think.
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders, sir. Yeah, that's the same team that's making Arc Raiders. That Arc Raider looks really cool. I'm pretty sure it's Embark.
Yeah, it's Embark.
Yeah, so same.
I just can't remember if it's Riders or Raiders.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
It's Raiders. I just looked it up.
Okay. Yeah, Arc Raiders looks really cool also. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get more news on both of those games soon.
Yeah, the beta's out for the final, or I think it's closed.
Only on
beta, so I
PC or consoles.
It was out last week. Yeah, it was only on PC. I don't know if they're doing like a week beta or what.
I don't know.
I know it was out last week.
I think that's a studio to keep our eyes on, though. Like, Embark is like, this is, I think, their first 2 games or whatever.
It is coming,
and they got
next
2 games coming out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Yeah, but I think the beta was only on PC.
That studio too. There was a picture a while, like last year or the year before, of like Phil Spencer visiting Embark, right? So like, just in the off chance, keep that in your minds. Maybe like,
I'm telling you, and they're also fucking partnered with Nexon. Phil, you got to go buy Nexon.
Yeah. That there is a shopping list, I think, that Phil has after the ABK deal closes, right? I think he
They
has
said
like
they're not done buying studios, so
for sure,
Yeah.
and I think he has a list, and I think we can kind of read the tea leaves on who some of these studios are. Like, if they Paradox Interactive, I think is a publisher they're very interested in. Their whole the show that Paradox Interactive just had said presented by Xbox, right? And we got Game Pass games day one in that as well, 2 of them out of that
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah, but I feel like they're so close that they don't need to buy them.
No, that's
you
fine.
know?
Maybe just more partnership.
Yeah.
And so there's them. Then I think
I'd
another
like to see him get a Sobo, but I
yeah.
think a Sobo might already have 10-cent
Money.
clause in them already.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's possible.
Embark, I think they could have their eyes on them, but who knows? It's like, I don't know who they're owned by. If they're owned like a subsidiary from somebody, if they're just independent.
I know both their
Yeah,
games
well-
are being published by Nexon, so I don't know if they're like
Right.
just a deal with them publishing, or if Nexon actually
Yeah.
owns them or what. But
do you think it'll be a problem if they got someone? You think they would just? I think they would most likely just go for small studios. but do you
Smaller
think
publishers,
would?
I think they won't have a lot of flack if it's like a smaller size publisher.
So no Capcom, no.
But here's the thing, like
well, Capcom's actually not. I mean, it's one of the smaller ones
yeah,
out there. But
Capcom has a big name, but like
Yeah.
money dollar wise, they're not up there with a lot of them. But the interesting thing about Capcom, you just said that I was talking about this last night. Microsoft's getting cozy again with Capcom. Like, they had a great relationship for a long time. You had exclusives like Dead Rising and Lost Planet and stuff, and you had marketing deals a lot with Microsoft and Xbox and Capcom. And then when Capcom struggled, it was around the same time Xbox was really struggling, and they started taking more deals with PlayStation, right? And the one contract you talked about that leaked before was that Resident Evil 4 contract with Capcom, right, from PlayStation. And also they had the Street Fighter V exclusive deal with PlayStation and stuff like that. But just in the matter of a couple months now, we have 2 games hitting Xbox when they come to Xbox for the first time, day one games going into Game Pass day one from Capcom, right? So Monster Hunter Rise, which is a huge game, right? And also now a brand new game in Exo Primal are both hitting Game Pass day one. So I feel like Capcom is getting to that point now where they're starting to see value with what Xbox is doing with Game Pass. Because anytime you've had a new publisher jump on board with that, it leads to possibilities of more in the future. Like we've seen it now with Sega, we've seen it with Capcom, we've even seen it with Square, with Outriders, right?
at the same time, though, I feel like it could just be Capcom trying to diversify their lineup of like where they're putting their games, because we know they're pretty cozy with PlayStation with all the Resident Evil shit they've been pushing with PlayStation side. So like it could just be them trying to branch
Being
out so they
than
don't
Square Enix.
so they don't just get locked down to a Sony platform.
Yeah.
Bray Oid says Microsoft will pick up Arc System Works. That's one I've been calling for because they need a fighting game studio, in my opinion. And they're like on their I think Arc System Works is independent. I'm not sure if they have like a parent company or whatever, but they
think
make
they just
amazing
partner with
games.
Bandai, I think.
They tend to.
I
They.
think so.
I don't think they're owned by them, but they definitely partner with Bandai a lot as far as
a lot of
Arc.
those anime style games and Bandai Namco published games.
Is an Xbox brawler. Like I don't we have so much IP under Xbox now.
There was a rumor of a Disney DreamWorks fighter coming out, kind of like Multiverses this year, but
great.
yeah.
Yay. But let's look ahead, guys, right? I mean, we already know kind of more of the slate for not just Xbox, but for PlayStation, Nintendo now, right? Like we have the lead up that we just talked about with all of those games leading up to the E3 showcase and the Starfield Direct. We know the Starfield Direct is its own separate thing, so we don't anticipate Starfield being a big part of the actual E3 showcase. We know that Xbox isn't going to be on the show floor, but they're still having their event for the game show and on the same day as a Starfield Direct. So 12-month show. I don't know if we get it again, right?
I don't think we do, but I want it.
Yeah, I know you want it, Jasper, but like I don't think we get it for one reason. Like if they lead the show with that again, if Sarah Bond comes out and says everything you see in this show, you're going to be able to play within the next 12 months, everybody will just be like, okay, yeah, whatever, yeah, that's fine. But
I think they canceled that plan like as soon as the first one launched and they heard the outcry from it. Like they were like, okay,
yeah, there was not positive reaction right after that, even without knowing all the information. Regardless of that, I think they unshackle themselves a little bit. But there's still potential. Like if we look at it, okay, what if they just focus on games releasing in the next 18 months, right? There's a lot of possibilities there. Hellblade 2, I bet we can count on Hellblade 2 being at this show.
They need to look at whatever's coming out in the next 12 months and then be like, okay, if it's like at the 12-month mark, we're not putting that in the show. We got to like pull it back 3 months. Like if you expect to come out on month 12, we're not putting it in the show. Right.
Yeah, I just think they get away from it altogether because they can't predict, you know what I mean? So Hellblade 2, we expect that. I would say so. They're doing like individual things leading up.
That could be like a March game for next year. So
it could be.
I think
November, December this year too.
Yeah, it could be this year. Like I feel like what they did last time with the first Hellblade was start to put in like different dev vlogs. I can't remember if that was before or after, but if it was before, I think I remember it doing like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the release of the game, which got people pretty interested in the game. And I have a feeling they'll do that up until the June showcase. Like because I remember in the devlog they were like, okay, we're preparing to show it off, show off some of our mocap. We're kind of nervous and stuff, so I have a feeling maybe they'll do something like that for this one, for the June showcase. Like, oh man, in the devlog, like we have 1 month left to try and get some stuff ready for the show. So that, I mean, that's something I really like about Ninja Theory is they really go and show people like their studio and culture and everything. So I have a feeling they'll have a couple of their episodes up until the showcase, and then a couple more after that, and then maybe at the end of this year, maybe you'll get Hellblade.
What if like we know that Hellblade was like shown off at the Game Awards? What if they shadow drop it at the Game Awards? Like, because the Game Awards got everyone pissed off at Xbox last year. Like, we're coming back fucking big this time. We're gonna drop this bitch live tonight.
That would be crazy.
That would be cool.
Yeah. When is the Game Awards usually? Is it in
it's like in
early
November?
Yeah, November.
That's around what time we're thinking Hellblade 2 could possibly be. The only issue with releasing a game around then too is like
you don't get in the Game Awards.
You don't get in the Game Awards, which is like something it doesn't matter to me, but like because of the weird ass thing that the Game Awards does, having
anything
their show
around
in November,
that time frame gets screwed over.
It does,
like every year.
Know. I think that'll be a game that would potentially have been considered for a Game of the Year type award, right?
Yeah.
If it fell in within that range, you know, but who knows, man? Like, if it came out before the Game Awards, it would a couple weeks before then, it would still have a chance, you know. But if it's like at the Game Awards, it ain't gonna be in there the next year. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. I don't think Xbox should determine when they release their games because
I mean,
Jeff
you shouldn't
Keighley's
put out a
show.
game just because you want an award for it. You know,
No,
it's just like you just put out a
exactly.
game because it's ready
You know.
or whatever.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah,
that would
but
be.
that just goes as a conversation where I like having the Game Awards at November is such a bad idea because so many games get screwed over. Like it should be how the Oscars are, where it's the following year, like
Or the DICE
January.
Awards, where it's like in January or February or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all marketing. Like he
Yeah.
gets money. I know why he does it. It's just annoying.
It's also a pain in the ass to like rent out a theater. Like you have to do that like almost a year in advance. Like, so.
Yeah.
I mean, start now. I wish, but I don't know.
That's. I mean, all those are good points. I think that really the awards don't really matter for me for that show anyway, right? But it is funny when we see all these games, and it's like it does create a lot of conversation around that time. But I like the prediction. I mean, I won't necessarily call it prediction, but like, but that thought. I like that thought, Jasper, because it has been shown twice there, right? they originally revealed Hellblade 2 the same time they revealed the Series X,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And then they showed it the following year, right? And like Keely was like, I can't believe this is gameplay. You know, you won't believe your eyes. And they showed it, and nobody believed it was gameplay still. They still don't believe it was gameplay. Because I keep hearing people, when are they going to show gameplay for Hellblade 2? And but I think you could be onto something. The other aspect to that is, what if it was like a late November or early December game, and they showed it again there for the big hype lead up, right? That could be a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed games that show up at certain events tend to show back up at those events, right? It's like the audience of that show is looking forward to this. Elden Ring showed up at the Game Awards like 3 times, I feel like,
Mhm.
you know. So that could be a thing. Hellblade 2, I think Fuzzy, you can count on that being at the E3 show this year for sure.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one that we get to see more info on. Just because of the time of when they introduced it to us, right around the Xbox Series X unveiling and so forth. I think that one is almost a lock at the E3 showing. Avowed, I'm hoping.
See, I would say Hellblade is actually questionable at E3
Why?
because there's as you were talking about, there's certain games that like Microsoft only puts at certain events. Like Hellblade's that game that they've only shown at like Game Awards. And
They're trying to
Keighley
sell
stuff.
that to the PlayStation fans.
Yeah, so I'm like,
yeah,
I could see the Xbox skipping that on E3 and then like doing that in their 3-month dev direct, like whatever, like games coming out in the next few months, like doing that as a separate direct, like 15-minute showcase of Hellblade there.
We do anticipate there being another direct this year, right? So if they did have like a September direct, that would make sense for them. Maybe they do one shortly before Starfield's release, right? And talk about the games releasing for the holiday, and Starfield's a little bit of a part of that, and they have Hellblade 2 show up there, right? And that would give them a couple months to market it leading up to launch, which apparently is Microsoft's plans now. Unless they shadow drop it at the Game Awards.
Yeah, I think I might agree with Jasper. Maybe they hold off on that one. But I don't know, after the 12-month thing, I in the disappointment of Starfield and stuff, I feel like they would want to go all out and show a lot of their games that are coming out.
Like Pong and I just want them
a sizzle reel as opposed to like 5 or 10 minutes worth of showtime.
Maybe.
Pong and I want them to reveal the whole fucking roadmap, like for like 6 years away. I want to know every damn game. I mean, that's what I want. And Pong also, shout out to Pong, he's hanging out. He said, it doesn't matter about Hellblade 2 because Starfield's got Game of the Year on lock anyway. Yeah, it could.
I think. I have a feeling.
We'll see how much Sony's checkbook goes into Keely's pockets this year, but
we will see. Like the only PlayStation game coming out this year, like this is a pretty good year for Xbox to finally win a Game of the Year award. Like Horizon didn't win much because it's like a racing game, so for some reason like that's not. You would think any genre of game should be in the Game of the Year, but like certain genres, I guess, are looked.
I think its biggest competition is Zelda this year, to be honest.
Zelda is Xbox's competition for this year, for a Game of the Year. So
people are
now,
gonna just go crazy over that game when it comes out.
And Spider-Man's probably gonna be in there because it's Sony.
Yeah,
let's be honest. So you'll have the Game of the Year announcements be Spider-Man 2, Zelda, and Starfield, and isn't there usually 4?
There's just like 5.
They had 5 last year, I think.
You got to have your indie artsy fartsy game though.
What will that be? Hollow Knight Silk Song, if it comes out in time, or possibly replaced? One of those two.
Replaced. Maybe replaced. Oh, Hogwarts.
Or what about Fox?
Hogwarts?
Benedict Fox.
Hogwarts may or may not be nominated just because of the controversy with it, right?
Yeah. So Hogwarts most likely, Zelda, Starfield, and maybe I don't know what's another Spider-Man. I
What
guess.
what a hypothetical, right? What if Stalker 2 actually hits this year and it is an amazing game?
I will
That
say
I
it
mean
does have that emotional backing that people would.
exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? That would be
That
like
too.
Keeley could want to make a big moment out of that, as well, right? And like if the game is good,
Yeah.
But what we've seen so far from the game, it looks really fucking cool. So
Mhm.
if Stalker 2 does actually come out and hits this year, I wouldn't put it past it for it to possibly be in that realm, right?
I mean, I feel like they have to change like a lot because like when you try to play the old Stalkers, like it's so like just like unintuitive. Like I don't know, it's just like there's a lot of jank factor to it, and it's like complex.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah, it's a lot
casual.
more
It's
complex
hard.
than you think.
Yeah, it's a lot harder for the casual market to jump in that. So I think they need to dumb that game down a little bit if they really want to get a lot of mass people
It
to
looks like they already have a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
made it more friendly to casual. And it's been
More
some
more
time.
Metro
They've
and
learned a
less
lot since
survival-esque.
Yeah.
yeah. It seems like they learned a lot from Metro, like some people jumping over from the Metro team and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So we'll see.
Alvin says the idea that they're saving stuff for the Game Awards after totally shifting them last year, not on board. They're showing at their own show. I kind of thinking about that as well. Like after this year, I'm trying to put my perspective of where Xbox will be at the time. The main issue I had with Xbox skipping the Game Awards last year is because of the year that they had, and they didn't have a lot of
Mhm.
announcements. They had a lot of things. At the E3 show, they did the whole 12-month thing, all that stuff. So like last year wasn't just kind of weak with first party game releases on Xbox, but it was also kind of weak with like big, huge game announcement shows and stuff like that. I feel like we had some great third party showcases and things like that, especially around Summer Game Fest and E3 times. But like, as far as even like with Sony as well with their first party shows, it was like really lackluster across
Mhm.
the board.
I don't think
and-
Xbox is missing Game Awards this year. Like they got so much heat for it last year. Like I don't
Well,
think.
but
They're gonna
what if
skip
they
it again.
have a dev direct in like September or October and it's all fresh on everybody's mind? Then like it's like, well, people won't really care about the Game Awards. You know what I mean?
I mean, I still think they would add like some kind of Game Pass sizzle reel or some bullshit like that, or just
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
30-second trailer for some game that's coming out like early next year. It doesn't have to like the dev direct is like more focused on each individualized game, where you can still have a 30-second trailer at the Game Awards.
Right. So maybe they would use the Game Awards potentially for like far away stuff potentially, or some like stuff like they kind of did with Hellblade 2 and
Like a new
Avowed.
unveiling or something.
Yeah. Hey, we got the man arriving straight from Fish City himself. Psychonauts is joining us. You feeling better, bro? Yeah. He's probably connecting to audio. so-
Yeah, I got all that fish
Yeah.
down there.
Oh, there he is. What's up, Psycho?
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man? You feeling any better?
A little bit better, not too. Still got the fucking headache, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't sit there and listen, and I wanted to jump in.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I personally think they will do with their at least E3. I think they'll show like Avowed, Hellblade 2, possibly just do. I think what they'll do is like how was it 21 where they showed games that were announced, and then after that then they showed this is what's coming out within like the next, what they said, 6 to 8 months, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to do something like that again because that was successful. So I think they're going to do, here's Avowed, they'll do an Everwild trailer to show us kind of what they've been working on, because they kind of been the devs been kind of putting out there
Everwild.
some tweets for Everwild.
Yeah.
And they did say that it was new release date was 2024. So this E3 kind of falls in line of possibly maybe just giving us a trailer, not a release date, just a trailer, and then giving us a Fable trailer, because all we got was the fairy flying through the forest and then eaten by the frog. So I think we'll get a Fable trailer, and then go into here's what's coming out within 2024. That gives them 18 months to hit that window, you know. So if they got games coming early, like Hellblade 2, Avowed, if they're gonna do Avowed, if they're not gonna do Hellblade 2 this year, then they're not over promising, because those games are closer to being ready to put out, so they can say that. Other games like Replaced, that I think is coming out. Is it this year or next year? Replaced.
It's supposed to be
year.
this year. Yeah.
This year? Okay.
Who knows
Is that a
anymore?
September?
I mean, like, I don't fucking. If somebody says a day, it's like I whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
It was
But-
based off of that other game that disappeared. Like
Oh, The
Replaced was
Last
based
Night.
off a game. Yeah, the last night.
Yeah.
That
game's
who
still in
knows
the
what that-
works, too.
Yeah,
Apparently,
it's just one guy though. I
Yeah.
think that's the problem. It's just one guy working on it.
Yeah, good thought, Psycho. Don't think I didn't see that 3-bit.
what I do.
You know what I'm talking about.
High five.
You're holding back a smirk at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when Psycho made mention
You were-
of the
you were-
trailer or something.
You were
Fairy.
trying so hard. I can
wasn't-
tell.
Hey,
Dude, you have such a shitty poker face, man. I swear. Yeah, you were trying so hard, dude. And I was actually a little impressed, because when he said the word Fable, my eyes immediately went to your face. And you were like,
As soon as he said fairy, I just saw 3-bit like lean back a little bit.
yeah. And
You
I
guys
was like,
psychoanalyzing me.
yeah. Anytime that the subject comes up, my eyes get straight to your face. And I was just immediately, I saw you, I just started smiling, because like I
don't know what you're talking
I know your facial muscles when you're struggling to not smile, right? So I think you could be onto something there, based on 3-bit's shitty poker face there about Fable trailer. And not only because of that, but it's time, right? I
Yeah.
mean, these games that we got all announced like in the 2020 showcase, you know, where they had like the 5 games and only playable on the Series X and S and stuff, and we're getting finally one of those this year in Forza Motorsport, right? We could now hear me out on this, right?
We're not getting Perfect Dark.
Maybe not that one, but Matt Booty and Aaron Greenberg posted a picture of themselves at what a lot of us think is Undead Labs, where they saw a new game demo, and they were like all smiles, right? Then we also saw, we know that Phil Spencer recently visited Ninja Theory, right?
Mhm.
When he was in London. And then we know that there was another report that just came out. I can't remember which game, but they were also visiting another studio on one of these kind of games, right? So
Obsidian.
was it Obsidian?
Yeah, they were at Obsidian.
So what I think is potentially happening right now with these rounds, that these marketing people too, like Aaron Greenberg's the marketing team, Matt Booty is the head of the studios. I think they're seeing these games. I think they're checking them out in person, seeing what could be ready for their E3 show, right? Preparing to see what they're going to show at this and to have the biggest impact. So it's been a while since those games. So maybe Fable, this is when we show up and we get a big update, maybe like a new trailer, and maybe just a glimpse at some gameplay, right? And maybe a voice talking about story stuff, overarching it, right? Maybe we finally have Contraband here as well, because Contraband,
Mhm.
originally the rumors were it was supposed to be out like last year, right? So they supposedly needed another year or so. Contraband could happen later this year, could happen next year, but that's one I wouldn't be surprised if was at the show. Avowed could be potentially at something like this as well. But State of Decay 3, Aaron Greenberg, Matt Booty, I think we're at Undead Labs, because the pictures on the wall behind them were posters from Undead Labs of State of Decay. So
yeah, because they had not compulsion. They had the coalition help them, and their productivity significantly jumped from one of the tweets that they put out. There's like, and thanks
They have
to
a lot of staff over there. A lot more
the
staff.
coalition, it really helped with
Coalition.
game development, and things are looking. Our vision is coming to fruition. So I definitely think we'll possibly see like a trailer for on the labs.
Well, I know the Ninja Theory thing, like with them being out there, that's just because they had to do that trip to the CMA and shit. So they're like, we're already over here, so we might as well visit these studios. Like that's kind of where I got into that stuff.
For that one, but not. But this Aaron Greenberg and Matt Booty thing just happened like
that
was
like
last week or this week,
Yeah, it was
and
at the beginning of this week.
And I can't remember the other. You said it was Obsidian, right? So, they've been making the rounds right now with this.
Yes.
In Exile's still crazy active on Twitter as always.
Yeah, they are.
I love that social media team. But the other aspect of this, like we know the games that have been revealed in the past, right? The Perfect Dark, State of Decay, Fable, Avowed, Contraband. We know we're getting Forza this year, so that's going to be handled. The Forza may or may not be at the E3 show. I think it depends on the release date. That maybe they have a separate show for it as well shortly after E3 if it's going to be like in the early fall or something like that. But we're getting lots of Forza Motorsport updates leading up to E3 anyway, right? So who knows exactly how that's going to go. But I think this is the year where we get this like massive look at big games, right? Like not every game.
You did the classic Xbox thing. You just wait one more year. This is the year.
Well, I mean, look at it like
I know.
Part of if they did the 12-month thing last year, part of the benefit of that could be one big massive show again.
Yeah,
like what they did in 2021, almost, but even maybe better, right? Because they have so many games to update us on that have already been announced. Plus, they have so many games that they haven't revealed yet. Like at some point soon, I mean, in the next year or so, you would think we're going to hear about In Exile's game, Compulsion's game, right?
Roundhouse and
id, Machine Games. What I was Indiana Jones update. Like, there's so many things to update us on, man. Like, this could be the biggest, most grand E3 event ever held by Xbox. I'm being serious. I know it sounds crazy, but
if they did like what they did with, like I said earlier, if they did with the 2021 event, show us games that are further out and don't say anything about what's coming out, and then after that point, then give us like, here's what's coming out within X amount of months and so on. But if they do like hold back Hellblade 2 for the VGAs, then they could just do a VGA developer direct announcement at that if they wanted to show us a little teaser trailer and then give us the direct announcement date, if that's what they wanted to do, since they've been kind of holding that game for whatever reason for VGAs, if they're trying to grab the PlayStation audience or not, but that's what I just think.
Everwild, you said a good game too earlier. Everwild, like that game's been the MIA for so long. At some point, we know they're still working on it, like you said, with the updates and stuff. They gotta tell us what this game is.
Rare needs a little push.
You think? Well, you think they mean like you? What do you mean? Do you think they're lazy? 3-bit? Is that what you're saying?
Force them to work on Connect games?
I don't think they're lazy. I think when the restructuring of a lot of basically what happened with the first Fable and the restructuring of like Lionhead and stuff, it became like Microsoft's MO to be hands off of a lot of studios and let them become like their own DNA. And something that was really important for Rare was that they got to do what they wanted.
I think Rare's proven themselves that they can be on their own though. With Sea of Thieves,
I think Microsoft. I'm saying like they wanted to step outside of doing their original IP. Pretty much said like, here's Rare Replay. We don't want to touch any of our original IP. Give that to other people, as we've seen with like Perfect Dark. Like they're not doing Perfect Dark, obviously, right? Pretty sure that was Rare.
Originally it was.
but
Now it's
yeah.
the initiative.
but it seems like okay, we got Sea of Thieves out, and then Everwild, they're very much like, I remember a couple of reports came out like they don't even know what Everwild is, but they're kind of like not in a rush to put anything else out, which can be a thing to their success of Sea of Thieves. They're like, okay, cool, Sea of Thieves is doing really well, has like 20 something, I forgot how many millions of players playing Sea of Thieves, but like goodness, like sometimes a little push is good with some with some studios.
I think if anything, Microsoft, what they would need to do with Rare is they would need to step in and be like, is this Everwild thing, like, are we just fucking throwing money into an oven right now, or just like, are we going to actually get something? It's like, I think that's what they need to look at.
That's where a pressure can be a good thing. You be like, hey, like we are giving you X amount of money, and all we're seeing is Sea of Thieves DLC. Like, are you working on Everwild? Can we see progress of Everwild? They're like, yeah, we got a trailer or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always felt like that with their studios, like maintain that thing where in the past, for sure, maintain your MO of letting these studios be their own thing, but at the same time, put pressure on them at the same time, like a balance of, you can have both, and not to say like game delays aren't bad or whatever, but it's always good to have a little bit of pressure. Otherwise you could develop and get into feature creep, like scope creep forever. Like you can be like, oh, let's add this, oh, we got all the time in the world, let's take away this, and and then the game never comes to your vision because it gets lost in.
Yeah, I mean, they've been at like vocal about they didn't even know what the game was going to turn into early on. So they were trying to figure out ways to find the fun in it and stuff like that, and make it like a good engaging experience. But like the artwork in that game is freaking amazing.
It looks like a
gorgeous
Zelda mixed with like, it's really really beautiful looking art style. I just I don't know.
I do think I think Rare gets a little like leeway just because they're like one of the oldest fucking game companies out there that Microsoft owns. It's like that, and like also with like Sea of Thieves, like when it was coming out, it was really rough. Like when it came out and before it came out, and they were pushing it, and like Microsoft saw over the years where it was able to add content to that and grow the fan base so large that they're like, we'll give you. It seems like you know what you're doing, so we'll give you a little bit of a break here.
Well, also, do you think the success potentially of Sea of Thieves has made them more like focused on Sea of Thieves more because they keep wanting to keep putting more content into it that slowed down the development of Everwild? Right?
They probably did.
Grand Theft Auto
probably
syndrome.
Grand Theft Auto syndrome, right? Because Sea of Thieves is massively popular still. I mean, it has a lot of players.
It's a great game. I was playing it like last week.
And at some point, if they shift into Everwild, what if it's another big live service game and they can't like really like support both to that extent?
Here, I'll look up what the developers of Everwild. The Gazoo came out and it said the game is on track, and everything's looking good. So
I mean, is on track the year 2030 or is
2024 is what the new release date after the
I don't remember if they ever said when they said what they said. Like,
yeah, because it was 2023 originally, and then with where they had no.
Did they ever announce a release date for Everwild?
What?
I don't think so.
They had a
I think they just revealed it.
I think a window. It just had a date, I believe, and then they and then because I've been following Everwild because Everwild looked awesome. I was kind of intrigued what it was going to be, but since then I've seen from the studio head that they're working on it. So it's not a huge team. So it looks like they have a splintered team that is still doing the Sea of Thieves content, but is also working on this.
So according to Wikipedia, whatever that is, Everwild began experimental prototyping in 2014, and it was announced in 2019.
That's what I'm talking about.
Gary Napper, who was originally a previous lead designer for Alien Isolation, joined Rare as the design director for Everwild.
I know they've changed like the head like creative directors and stuff have like left
Yeah.
and stuff like
In
that.
2021, Jeff Grubb announced that Everwild was being rebooted since initial development was way off and scheduled for 2023. Video Game Chronicles reported in 2021 that corroborated that Everwild went under a reboot. And it just said its planned release date has been pushed back to 2024, saying Everwild's development team is now optimistically targeting 2024.
So that's for the insider reports.
Yeah.
Like Grubb.
Yeah,
stuff
so-
like that.
Prototyping was
Here's-
2014 now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's ZZ is her name. It's already been a whole year since I started working on Everwild at Rare. It's been an amazing journey so far, and I'm very excited to show what's to come. And they show a picture of on her desktop of the monitors of a screenshot of the game. It looks a little bit different, but yeah. So it looks like
DM that to me when you can.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the game. Who knows what it is? That's a wild card game for me at this point now, like because we have no clue.
And then on March 6th, I guess Matt Booty was over at Rare, and he's excited for new games that are coming out. It's hard. He said that
Did he say games plural or did he say games
game? So they're like new games are hard to develop for, and
Rare's one of those teams where they can have like 5 people just working on some side project that they're like, oh, this is fucking amazing, and they throw half the fucking studio to work on it.
And Matt Booty never tweets, so like on his Twitter, like his last tweet was in 2019. But Aaron Greenberg tweets a lot, so I don't know if whose post that was on.
Yeah, I was looking for those like photos you were talking about with him, and I couldn't find them.
I saw. I don't remember who posted it. It was a picture of Aaron Greenberg and Matt Booty, and they had pictures in their background. And I can't find it right now. I remember seeing it on Twitter. I think maybe it was shared in one of our DMs as well. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll back up through so I can find it. But yeah, it was listed within this past week or so that they had visited and said like new game demos are awesome or something like that. And they had the pictures of Undead Labs behind them. So yeah, interesting goings on there. So I think like if the Everwild reports are true, that could be something that shows up at E3. Contraband about.
I still think that shit's farther out. I don't know.
Yeah. What about Perfect Dark? What are the chances?
That's if they show that, and I don't know, like there's that it's just gonna be another CGI trailer for Perfect Dark, and then is that just like, oh, we get to see the left side of her face now?
What I mean, you don't think next time we see it, we'll get some gameplay at least, so that people can see like what the game is, at least like a short snippet?
I heard that was third and first person, which is cool. Or I heard like a rumor. I don't know if it was true or not. But I expect Perfect Dark like
2026,
late 2024 to 2025, probably even 26. But I don't expect it this year or next year. But
yeah.
We'll see. They got a super talented team over there. They could probably.
I don't think Microsoft's showing stuff that's 3 years out or 2 years out. I think they're still like gonna try to focus on the 12 months, but just not say the 12 months.
No, I say they completely ditched the 12 months after that showcase. And
Yeah,
like,
I think they ditched the messaging, but I still think internally they're still going to try to focus on games that are coming out within the next like year and a half.
that could be.
That way, there's that disappointment's not there for people. Just be like, you
Well,
motherfuckers.
you have to think about the last show. The fact that last year, they know that it that they didn't have any games basically come out last year, and Phil has talked about it in different interviews. That like, yeah, we know we kind of messed up with that. I feel like they're gonna want to make up for it in a big way. So maybe it's a mixture of both worlds, Jasper. Maybe they have like a 12-month thing, and then like, but here's also the future. They like that.
I
could
just don't
be
see
the
him showing shit 3 years out. Like that's just my like.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like, I mean, they already showed those games before, so if you're
Yeah.
getting an update on some
Yeah.
of them, then I could see them showing it. Like people are gonna want to see State of Decay, like what's up with that. Otherwise, your show, if it is focused on the next 12 months, I think it
But that could
would
be a
be
game that's out
games.
within the next like year and a half. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
Perfect Dark's
But
like the only one
Indiana
that's
Jones is probably further out, so
Yeah.
that's probably not going to be at this showcase, but it'd be kind of cool.
And I think with Indiana Jones, that's one of those things where they would just let Bethesda announce it one of their dev directs that they have just showed off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense for sure.
So frustrating.
But I know they are gonna go big this year. I feel with whatever they show, whether that's ID Tech's new game, whether that's Quake or the next Doom. You got Machine Games working on Indiana Jones. Definitely some what other games?
Possibly.
Probably Wolfenstein, maybe. I don't know what ID Tech's. We haven't heard any
Wolfenstein
rumors or
is also the same as Machine Games, and they're also making Indiana Jones. So whichever one's first there, I would assume Indiana.
Yes. Maybe Everwild if it is supposed to come out next year. There's just so many games in development. You forget Compulsion games. I heard they made significant.
I think we'll get
progress with
Contraband
that.
because that was seemed like it was a little further along, but we got a CGI trailer that 2021. So
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
Contraband will probably get gameplay this year.
Contraband. I feel like Hellblade is almost definitely locked in at this showcase, either at this
Not at
showcase
E3,
or
at Dev Direct.
either E3 or Dev Direct or whatever. Like sometime this year, we're gonna
see more this year, but I just don't
Yeah.
think it's E3.
You just don't know which showcase.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What else we got? We got the Contraband.
There's going to be new
Man,
game
there's just so
announcements
many.
too. Like, I mean, there is at every
Yeah.
E3.
Wasn't there a rumor that they were working with that fighting game studio Round something?
Well, Roundhouse is
Oh.
a ZeniMax Bethesda studio, and
Yeah,
we don't
maybe-
know what they're making. It's not it may not be a fighting game studio, but like
We know Obsidian works pretty quick. We could maybe get Outer Worlds 2.
You think we get that before Avowed?
Yeah, I was also going to. As soon as I said that, I was like, also that's going to compete with Starfield, so it's like they're not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
there
have
was a few
Avowed.
projects that have been leaked, like the Wu-Tang Clan game that was like a fighting game. So hopefully that makes an appearance. Compulsion's game, we have yet to see anything from Microsoft. I know Jez did a report on it a while back, but I would love to see something from Compulsion, see what that game's about, or detail from them on that game. But
Yeah, problem with Compulsion in the past was their budget. Like they were such a small studio, they were being bounced around different publishers at the time with We Happy Few, and their biggest problem was like they didn't have enough money. So now that they have a big budget, they have a lot of
one
much bigger team.
studio I see them maybe giving the window for like games that are farther out is Double Fine, because they like to really sell his shit. I forgot the dude's name that runs the studio there, but
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer, yeah. Like they like to pump his shit out like super early. He's like, yeah, I got this ambitious new project coming out, like stay tuned for it. Like I think they like could tease that a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder how long it's gonna take for their new game to come out. Psychonauts 2 was like a game they heavily focused on.
I think they said they want to do smaller experiences for a little bit until they do the next like big game. Kind of like Broken Age and stuff.
Yeah, their games are awesome. I love all their games.
So the whole Undead Labs thing, I would just take that with a massive truck of salt right now too, because I like this picture was going around, right? And I'll just throw it up here on here. And I'm trying to track down the original source of it, and I can't find it. So this could be like for all I know, it actually could be like an old ass picture where people were trying to spread it around as like some kind of new thing. You know what I mean? Like I have no clue. To note though that poster on the walls of I think it's stated K1,
Like
not 2.
that.
So
Can
I
you,
I don't know.
Send that in the DMs.
Yeah, this is, and I can't find the original one that I had seen. So that's
Yeah, I
making
was
it
gonna
worse.
try to find the.
Yeah, I'm
original
gonna
thing.
post this to you, and that's from a like Brazilian account or something like that. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but besides that, we do know that they've been posting about checking out other studios, games, and stuff like that recently. So that part we do know for sure. So,
Can
man,
you like pull up a list of like all the studios?
oh geez. I got
Just
my
'cause, like,
PDF, man.
It's
Got
like
my
we keep talking
PDF.
about it, but they like seeing it visually will help me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm opening this up right now. Okay, so we got 343. If they have anything, it will be season 4 content. Will that
Yeah.
season 4 content hit right before or right after E3 probably?
3 month season. The new one just started, so it should be like right around E3 is when the new season.
Yeah, either
ends,
right before, or right after. So it could be that, maybe possibly Battle Royale, right? Certain affinities thing that they could be doing there. World's Edge could be there with Age of Empires 4, right?
Yeah,
And also the rumors of Age of
mythology. That I see
is it?
coming out 2024 fall. Age Team likes to do like kind of anniversaries of those kind of games, and they always come out in the fall. So I would say that's probably 2024 fall or 2025 fall.
Yeah.
Is
depending
it
how
up
far
on
we
the
know.
stream?
I can put, this is an old list here, guys, I have, so I'll put it up on the stream. This was before a lot of games were announced. Before some other things. So the Coalition, that new project that's listed here, has since been canceled according to insiders. Gear 6 is in full production. Is it possible we could see a glimpse of the first hint of Gears? I mean, usually with games like Gears, they don't just promote once at a big E3 show. They do more than once, right?
Yeah.
So you could get a teaser for Gears 6.
If they do anything for that, it's gonna be like the name. It'd be like Gear 6
Yeah,
coming
a little teaser
in
or
development
Might
or
something.
whatever.
see a like Reverse Worlds. It said certain Affinity Halo game. We might see a tease of that maybe.
Yeah. Then we got Compulsion Games Project Midnight. Has not been revealed yet. That's got to be revealed at some point. I mean, it's been around for forever with the people talking about it. Phil Spencer supposedly loves this game. Whenever he talks about stuff, he keeps talking about one thing. I'm excited for people to check out Compulsion's game, but like that's been going talk for years now. So
I kind of hope it goes away from the We Happy Few art style. Like it was all right, but I wasn't a huge fan of that.
yeah. So then we got Double Fine has multiple projects that they're like experimenting with supposedly or something. But we don't know anything about a specific new game yet. The initiative has Perfect Dark, but wasn't they potentially having multiple game studio as well? Like
The initiative?
originally.
Yeah.
Their whole deal was supposed to be to spin up a game, hand it off, spin up another game, hand it off, kind of thing. So since it's in Crystal Dynamics' hands now, they should be moving on to the next project. But
I thought they did say
They've
that
had like a rough kind of launch though. The initiative.
Yeah, they've had a lot of turnover. In Exile, they have 2 projects, right? One of them is that steampunk first-person shooter RPG codenamed Cobalt that Jez has revealed the code name for, and then they have another project that we don't know like anything about. With this steampunk first-person shooter one is like the big one that I think they're working on, and at some point we're gonna get a reveal of that. You would think.
Maybe it'd be like what is it? The fuck's their game that they have?
Wasteland?
Yeah, kind of like a Wasteland, but RPG style instead of
Mm.
that turn-based
Well, it's
tactics.
FPS, so
Yeah. Mojang, they supposedly had 2 Minecraft spin-offs in the works. Now we know what one of them is now. It's Minecraft Legends. So this Minecraft spin-off has been announced, actually hitting this year. So we can chalk that up. So that's not going to be at E3 as long as they hit the release date. Right?
Yeah.
Ninja Theory has Hellblade 2
Project
and they have
Mara,
Project
forgot about
Mara.
And they have
So-
another project. They have 3 games going right now. 3 or more, 4.
But they had 3, but one of those was more of like a, not necessarily really a game. It was more of like a psychological study type project thing. I can't remember that they were doing, but Project Mara and Hellblade 2 are the 2 primary games we're working on. And that Project Mara is the ones where they revealed those screenshots that looked like real of like the kitchen sink and stuff. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stairs.
Yeah,
and-
they're like really going in on detail and realism. At some point we could see that. I think that's probably further away than people are thinking. Then you got Obsidian with, Grounded is taken off so far. Then you have Avowed is announced. Outer Worlds 2 is announced. And this other project you see here has since been known to be Pentiment, right? So Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, either one could be shown, but my money would be on Avowed, right? Like,
Yep.
that we need more information on the game. It's been a long time now.
Avowed first, and I think Outer Worlds 2
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
When they revealed Outer Worlds
Yeah.
2, they even joked in the trailer they don't know what this game's going to be yet. So that's a ways
also
away.
Also when I said that, it doesn't make sense to show that alongside Starfield. Like,
Yes, you don't want.
kind of the samey, and it's like,
Yeah, Fable is different enough, though. I think you could show Fable. You could have an update on Fable. Fable is another massive game that they're going to have multiple years of marketing for. I think, like with
Mhm.
updates and teases and stuff like that. And it's time. I
Mhm.
think Fable 3-bit. It's time. Yeah, I
Huh?
see you. I
Huh?
see. I just moved the box to check your face. Yeah, I see you hiding that. Everwild. We've been talking about that from Rare. Then you have Forza Motorsport from Turn 10. We can count on that being there if the game's not released yet, probably in some form or fashion. Undead Labs, State of Decay 3.
Tokyo DLC.
Xbox Game Studio Publishing. You can add Ara to this list. That since this list came out, the Ara had been announced. There's also rumors for that Project Buenos Suerte or whatever, with a Monster Hunter clone game from Certain Affinity, and the IO interactive game that project was now called Project Fantasy. It's unknown if that's actually a Microsoft game or not now. Jez said he wasn't 100% on that. Like it could have just been pitched to Microsoft when it was known as Project Dragon. So we don't know what's going on with that, but Contraband is something that has actually been officially announced and part of their E3 shows in the past. Bethesda, so you got Starfield. Elder Scrolls 6, I don't think it's going to get a teaser yet. I think they're just going to keep going all in on it.
Yeah, they said they're going to work on it after.
you need to
Starfield, so-
update your list. and
It's as
take off some
old.
of the
That's
stuff
what I'm
that's off.
saying. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's as old. id is a big blank here. It's time to reveal a new game from id.
Yeah.
When
They
did
said,
when did Doom
what did it
Eternal
say?
come out?
2019, 2020.
29. It was a 20. Did Doom Eternal come out 2019 or 2020? Chat.
19.
2019. There's been 4. It will have been like 4 years since an id
No,
game.
March 2020.
March 2020. So it'll been 3.5 years almost since an id game. I think it's time to reveal a new one, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I think you think they'll go back to Quake, like, okay, we did what we could with Doom. Let's try either
Did they do?
Quake.
Didn't they do Rage 2? Rage 2?
Yeah,
id did that with development. Rage 2 is also developed by Avalanche,
Yeah.
which is the team making Contraband.
Okay.
So id, I think, is a wild card. But the other aspect to id is if they didn't show up at E3, they could always reveal their game at QuakeCon.
also, I think they did the Wolfenstein, the one where you played as the 2 sisters or whatever. Like Machine Games didn't do that one.
Yeah. But I
Oh,
mean,
really?
still, all that stuff was all that stuff was before Doom
Yeah.
Eternal, right? So it's been a while. I mean, we got Doom. They did a lot of post-launch content for Doom Eternal. They did a lot of DLC, and things like that. But I think, I mean, it's time for an id game. You know,
Unless they're
um,
making the most craziest looking game, and they're just being
Oh no,
ultra
it was
top secret.
Arcane that did that one. It wasn't id.
right.
Okay.
Arcane. We got Deathloop had come out since this list. Also, Redfall. We know we're getting that. Arcane. Do they have any other projects? I have no idea. Arcane confuses me because they got like multiple studios within Arcane. You know,
Yeah.
the team that's had made Deathloop could be announced something else. I don't know. Alpha Dog is a mobile game studio from ZeniMax Bethesda. They have this game called Mighty Doom.
Which studio was the one that was rumored to be working on Spy Team or something?
That's a
Spy Team related?
ZeniMax. That's a Bethesda ZeniMax
Okay.
studio, but we don't know which studio. So it could be Alpha Dog. It could be a mobile thing, right? It could be ZeniMax Online. It could be some kind of project they have because we know they are making another game, or it could be Roundhouse because they have a new unannounced project that they alluded to when they announced ZeniMax Bethesda.
So I just looked up id. In 2022 at QuakeCon, Marty Stratton, the executive producer at id Software, came out and said that we are in works on our next game, but we're not ready to share any details yet. So
okay,
they are working on a new game.
Right.
Who's working on Mighty Doom?
That's Alpha
game?
Dog. Alpha Dog.
That is Alpha Dog. Okay.
Yeah. And Roundhouse is a studio that used to be Human Head Games.
Yeah.
They've done other shooters and stuff before. Like, so Roundhouse could be making Spy Team.
That'd be cool.
Could be a possibility, or it could be something else. Tango Gameworks, Ghostwire Tokyo, a new game from Evil Within 2 director John Johannes. We found out what that was. That was Hi-Fi Rush that released this year already.
Yep.
Machine Games, Indiana Jones plus maybe Wolfenstein 3. There's even more and more rumors about that. ZeniMax Online. This is a big one. This unannounced new game from ZeniMax Online. This has been talked about a lot, right? Because this is one of the big things when they did that same show when they talked about Roundhouse. They also talked about ZeniMax Online has a huge thing they're super excited for. They've talked about this numerous times, like saying how excited they are for the next big ZeniMax Online game. It's supposed to be something new from them as well. So either it's a Starfield MMO, it's a
That'd be awesome.
It had been rumored in the past that it was Star Wars. Skolzy, who we had on PM of the PM the other day, last week, had talked about that when there was concept art that had been potentially put out there from one of the artists at ZeniMax Online, it was spacey stuff, right? So that's one of the reasons a lot of people thought Star Wars. But then maybe it's a Starfield MMO, right? Or it could be anything else. It could be a million things. It may not even be a space game. So, but ZeniMax Online has a new IP that they should be hopefully announcing soon.
A Starfield online mode would be sick.
Yeah, and I think
saying.
3-Bit probably knows whatever the hell the ZeniMax Online game is, and it really annoys me. But I'm pretty sure he knows what it is. I'm pretty sure he does.
He knows nothing.
He does.
Right?
He
Right,
does.
I don't even know what a
NDA.
Starfield is, honestly.
Starfield knows what the ZeniMax game is, and he won't tell us.
How do you know what Starfield is? What is
What
that?
is a Starfield?
It's like a
I don't
field
know.
like you would plant like corn in, but it's just full of stars. There's people making stars and selling them.
That would be sick.
If the ABK acquisition happens, that'll be even more interesting.
Big two.
Because then you have to factor in, well, if it happens, Blizzard and Activision announcements at that time will have a different level of impact, right?
Mhm.
So Blizzard has that survival game that they revealed recently, right? Since then, Overwatch 2's come out. Diablo 4, what's the release date for Diablo 4 again?
666.
Okay, so that's right before
Six.
E3,
Only
right?
2 6s.
But 2 times 3 is 6, so it's 6
Yeah.
and 6.
So here's where we get into the interesting territory, okay?
I think there was a rumor of a Spyro 4, right? Recently?
From
Or
Activision.
like a new Spyro? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. So this is what I call the Jez section. Okay. This is the Jez and Grub section of the list. So far, we have seen things come to fruition from this, right? But not everything. The Project PAX Day strategy is Oxide Games Aura. So that was revealed. I believe that's the same game, right? Project Dragon is now Project Fantasy. We don't know if that's a Microsoft published game or not. And again, all of these games could fit in that same criteria of being pitched. Kojima's cloud game back then was only a rumor. Since then, we know that hasn't been announced.
I don't think that
Um,
PAX Day thing has any ties specifically to Xbox, though.
You don't think so? I thought that was what turned into Aura, the Oxide game.
It
It's a
wasn't
Aura, you mean?
Aura,
unless if
yeah.
it's like the same thing, because there was that one medieval like MMO that just came out with the name PAX Day. Is that like unrelated?
Maybe I have no idea.
Because
Is there a medieval MMO that just came out called PAX Day?
well, it's like in development, but
Okay. There was one of these projects was the Oxide Games Aura game, right? I don't remember what its name. Maybe it was Vonnegut. I don't know. Maybe it was. But Project Belfry is the beat 'em up type game that had been alluded to before. Still don't know what that is. Then there's the Halo side project that 3-Bit talked about back in the past. That he was certain they said that they were making another project. Regardless, we know that since then the plans for Halo Infinite have changed, right? So
yeah, heard that a while ago. I don't know if that's gonna be. I heard a while ago it was a spinoff, but I don't know if it was a rumored like battle royale mode. It could just be that, or
yeah, so that would be a
Having
certain affinity thing as well. Project Indus, maybe that was the one that was Aura. I don't remember. One of these turned out to be Aura. I don't remember which one. I was assuming PAX Day just because I have a note on here of strategy. This list is 2 years old, everybody. Like
I mean, it would be a
18 months,
coincidence
maybe.
if there's a game called PAX Day coming out and then there's this. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
probably
could
not
be,
that.
but
It's probably not that then. All right. So then there was big rumors about the 1 versus 100 revival.
that shit's been in rumor for like 15
Yeah,
years.
I don't think that's the thing.
that was such a cool game. That needs to come back.
I don't know it. Like some of these, I don't even know what they are anymore because these rumors are so old, right?
I'm still
But
trying to
who
figure
knows?
out if Overdose is the Kojima game that we're getting through Xbox.
It's interesting because
The
it has
leaked
not been
thing.
announced yet, right? It was leaked, but it hasn't been announced.
Mhm.
And
Who knows?
Oh,
not
yeah,
Silent Hill
unless
2.
that was something else.
Maybe it's PT Interactive. Maybe he's bringing back PT in this, but this way it's interactive. So you
Yeah.
you're playing with other people who are like controlling the ghost or the fandoms and shit.
Does Sony
That'd
end
be
up
kinda
having a
cool.
big summer game show this year?
They never do. What are you talking about?
I know,
I mean,
like,
they haven't done one in 2 years.
but like all we know about from them right now is Spider-Man 2 for
Spy-
this year.
It still doesn't have
Maybe
a release date.
Wolverine
It just
Do you know how much
still-
money it is to get the orchestra
window.
back together to fucking do an E3 show?
The orchestra.
Dude, they just
They
get
got back
the
together.
flute dude. Just get the flute guy. That's all. You just got to get the flute guy like they got for Ghost of Tsushima. You're set. That was the
Oh, that's right,
rockin'
Ghost of Tsushima 2.
They're
I'm
gonna have a show
so
this year. I just don't know what the heck they're gonna show. I guess Spider-Man 2, maybe
factions?
like a deep. Oh yeah, maybe factions like have a.
There was some new rumors on that
gameplay,
it's also may come to PlayStation 4 consoles.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or maybe have a deep gameplay of Spider-Man 2, maybe more stuff with Wolverine, maybe. And then the rest will be what?
who
I guess
knows?
some
It's up
third-party
in
game.
the
Final
it's up in the
Fantasy.
air, man. Yeah.
7.
Oh, yeah, Final
2,
Fantasy.
and
I-
Final Fantasy 16.
16. There you go.
You think Final
Well-
Fantasy 16 could get nominated for Game of the Year?
No.
I don't think so either. All right, what were you saying, Fuzz?
No, I was going to say
shoot.
that
I
there
forgot
was
this.
there was rumor of a Marvel game. Now,
Yes.
my source is somewhat of an insider.
Careful, Fuzz. Careful.
No, I know, but there was confirmation of it with 2 other individuals that are more so on the licensing end of things. So there's supposed to be a Marvel online game that's not Wolverine and not Spider-Man 2 that they supposedly have. So that's possibly one of their games as a service. I don't know if that's still a go or not, but that was supposed to be one of the targeted games as a service. Now we saw the leaks of the what do you call them? The Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn multiplayer thing that kind of looks like Fortnite. If that's one of their games as a service that I think is probably closer than Factions, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, there is the Skydance Media Black Panther / Captain America game as well. So I don't know if that could be the one that's like the multiplayer.
If Sony's smart, like depending on the time frame of this, like Bungie usually shows concept art like 3 or 4 years out before their next game. And Destiny's wrapping up next year. So Bungie should be putting out a new game within the next couple years, I would assume. Yeah. So we may get like teasers for Bungie's next project,
which will be huge.
Now, was it Bungie that was doing that like extraction game? What the heck was that thing called? Oh man.
I don't think we know what Bungie's next project is.
Well, originally they said it was going to be not like Destiny. It was going to be like a light-hearted comedy, but that was before the acquisition. So like when they were trying to get money from like a third party or whatever to help finance and expand their studios, they had mentioned something about they're thinking of like a lighthearted comedy that's not going to be necessarily a first-person perspective type of thing. But then after the acquisition, it looks like some of the developers over at Bungie were looking at an older IP, like whatever game that they had worked on before Halo, that was supposedly like a quote unquote kind of like sniper and extraction type game, is possibly what they might be working on next. And that was just rumor, grain of salt, yada yada, but I think that might be what that next project is. So if you're saying that they usually put it 3 years out, it'd be perfect to show that, considering how much they're, crying over Call of Duty, to have something that will be along those lines, have the images out now. Hey, this is what we're working on, or what Bungie's working on. Yeah, it'll be multi-plat, but
Yeah. So for PlayStation show will be heavy third party, regardless of whatever it is, because that's most of the big stuff, right? So Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. When is the release date for that? Do we not even know yet, or has it been announced?
Was that June-ish?
I thought it was late May or early June.
I can't remember. Maybe it's May.
It could be a Game of the Year contender.
There's the Final Fantasy.
So June 22nd.
It's 16.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
There's also, they have the Last Ronin, which is an exclusive from Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco, I think is. So Last Ronin, that game looks pretty cool, right?
Before we hear something from the court documents about that too.
Wasn't Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 supposed to come out again this year too, or Part 3 or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Yeah. So there's that. Silent
still hasn't.
Silent Hill 2 will be there probably as well.
Yeah, Silent Hill 2.
So you'll have a bunch of money-hatted third-party games that are exclusive, and Spider-Man 2, and Factions, possibly.
Oh, and they got to show Death Stranding 2 as well.
Stellar Blade.
Death Stranding 2.
Is Death Stranding 2 this year?
It's not this year, but they're going to probably push it and show it at least.
They still want to establish that Kojima link big time for their fans.
Yeah.
Then also,
that's a decent showcase. You got some Kojima.
I'm down.
Got some Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, potentially Factions. That's decent. That's not too bad.
Yeah, especially if you reveal Bungie's game on top of that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, if you put
Bungie, you're not going to see like a trailer. You'll see like concept art. They usually do concept art first, and then
they'll go the faction style, where they'll hold the postcard in front of the crowd.
I remember seeing like the Destiny concept art for like 4 fucking years. I'm like, when is this coming out?
Yeah. Shout out to Rob to Don 202 hit us with a $10 super chat. Thanks
Ooh.
for the $10. Very generous. Said, I think Sony will show Spider-Man 2, Lost Soul aside, Final Fantasy VII Part 2, Wolverine, which is something they could give a better glimpse at, Factions 2, and another Games as a Service game, and Metal Gear Solid remake, and maybe another remake.
And Abandoned.
And Abandoned.
Oh,
Yeah.
that game that I was trying to think of the name is Marathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Marathon.
That's a decent
was-
showcase. And in terms of like what's releasing this year, it's pretty light if you're not a VR fan. But they got some decent stuff coming out. 2023, I said this on Twitter, like 2023 in general is a great year for games.
Oh my god. Amazing.
For
But
gaming.
don't
Like, it's
forget,
insane.
PlayStation guys only care about first party bangers. Don't forget. Remember, Xbox had third party games last year, but those didn't matter. Remember, it's only first party. First party is the only thing.
Well, they consider third-party exclusives first-party games.
They also have a whole
Yeah.
VR library that's first party.
Well, then so did Xbox. X had As Dusk Falls, and they had
They
High on
they
Life.
published As Dusk Falls, but yes, Microsoft did have High on Life as an exclusive. But the As Dusk Falls was actually a Microsoft.
I'm just using their same idiotic ideas how they use it. So
Yeah, like the regardless, I would put Final Fantasy 16 and Silent Hill 2 in another league of High on Life. You know what I mean? Though,
yeah.
like,
I don't know. Depends on who's making it.
well, I mean,
On
like,
High on Life. Or not High on Life, but whoever's making Silent Hill 2.
You
Bloober
mean Final
Team.
Fantasy?
Bloober
Yes,
Team's
Bloober.
making Silent Hill 2.
Something else. No, they're not making Silent Hill 2. They came out and said that.
Oh,
No,
they're
they're making
making-
a Silent Hill project.
They're making Silent Hill something. I forgot what it was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah,
But they
but-
were announced that they're making. But Silent Hill 2 may just
It's
be
not Silent-
Konami. Like I don't know.
What the hell they made besides Plinko machines?
Pro Evolution Soccer, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because that is fantastic. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah. Silent Hill 2. I don't know. Remember
is
if they
that out
said
this
who the
year, too?
developers. 2024.
One of the Silent Hill games is supposed to come out this year, I think.
I don't remember which one.
Really?
There was like it got confusing because they announced like fucking 4 Silent Hill games at the
Yeah.
same show.
I thought
Right?
it was like 2 games in a movie or a show or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was like too many things.
I know Blue
There.
Team is also working on Layers of Fear 3 or 4, whatever the fuck it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says 2023. Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of Sony like and PlayStation only players, whenever there's an exclusive, that's all they care about is exclusive. They don't care if it's published by Sony. They just care that it's exclusive on the box, right? Because it makes them feel special, right? So they see these as like equal to their own first party games. So when these third party games are shown, even though it's not being made by Sony, they'd be like, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's another win. You know, like it is what it is. The thing that sucks for Xbox players is as an Xbox player, you don't get to play those games if you only have an Xbox. You got to go buy a PlayStation, right? So Final Fantasy 16 will be exclusive. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 will be exclusive. Silent Hill 2 will be exclusive. The Last Ronin will be exclusive. None of those games made by Sony, right? Now, we can say, well, but Xbox has Stalker 2, and they have Hi-Fi Rush, and they had some games like that. It's in a different level, in my opinion. Stalker 2 could turn out to be the opposite of that and could be bigger, but also we don't know, right? I think like Final Fantasy is a quantified like thing. You know what I mean? Like Silent
these
Hill
narratives are
is a
super-
thing. You know what I mean?
These
Well,
narratives are
the other big
interesting.
difference is Sony pays for like 1 year or 2 year exclusivity.
Or just
Stalker
outright
2.
forever exclusivity as it's coming out
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. But like Stalker 2 originally was only supposed to be like a month or two. Like a lot of exclusivity that Xbox has been doing with the exception, I think, of High on Life, but I think that was more of like a developer choice than Xbox choice.
That's the difference, Fuzz, and that's why they get confused a lot because to your point right there, these publishers like that and these developers need that money and they can only really afford to do that one thing right then, and it's usually their choice on to do that. Whereas like a big publisher like Square Enix or Konami or something doesn't need to make those games exclusive. They can afford to put them everywhere if they want to, or they don't need to make the money to develop the game in the first place. Like this Stalker 2 may not even be happening without Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush may have not even came to fruition without Xbox, right? And Silent Hill 2 probably would have happened. Final Fantasy 16 was still going to come out. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 1 and Part 2 still going to happen. Sony's paying for exclusivity on the things. I don't like think it's the best thing for gamers, but I also don't blame Sony for doing that. I think it's a bad business move on those publishers' end, right? But that's the thing.
For
like
the publishers,
if
but it's decent for PlayStation because they can have the narrative that like you can only. I mean, again, they have like different business models. Like PlayStation's business model is basically their console sales and how important that is. I mean, that's why they have sold different versions of the PlayStation 5, taking out parts, trying to make it cheaper so that they can make more money by spending
every
even
company's
more with the bundles. Right. Like,
the thing with High on Life is their previous games were exclusive to PlayStation for like a year, and then they came to Xbox. So like I could see High on Life coming to PlayStation eventually. Like it's just I think it's just takes time for them to port it to PlayStation. That's why it's exclusive to Xbox, because they could get the game out now and just
small studio
get money.
like, and who knows what's going to happen with that studio now, because
well, the guy already left the studio, so
Justin Roiland has left because of that. He's in a legal battle right now, I'll just say that. But I feel like as a PlayStation consumer, like you don't care, you know what I mean? Like if it's first party or not, you just still know it's a big huge title that you're going to get to play, right? So like those games, I feel like they count them still as like their games, you know what I mean? Regardless of who makes them. It's almost like Game Pass Day 1 games for Xbox, you know what I mean? When we know that one of these games is like a huge deal game and it gets announced it's going to be Game Pass Day 1, it's like a fuck yeah win moment, right? Like, hey, we're going to get that in our service and we're not going to have to pay for it and all that kind of stuff. That's how it is kind of with Sony right now. And that they're heavy with that. And they said they were going to be heavy with it. Like everybody said that Sony's MO this generation is going to be big third-party deals. They're going to double down on it, right? Because that's their way to compete with Game Pass.
Because they're behind on game development.
They can only
first-party wise.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they can only make so many of these big, huge AAA third-person action adventure games. You know, like they can't have one of those every damn year. You know, and if they do, they can't have them every quarter, right? So, like, they got to do something to compete with Xbox and Game Pass, because Xbox has all these huge studios and stuff, and all these developers making all these damn games, and they're gonna be hitting like this year. Look at Microsoft first party compared to Sony's first party this year. Like, it's a joke, right? Like,
PlayStation blew their load early, just like Xbox blew their load early last generation.
But even even those games that PlayStation got out, those had been massively delayed.
Yeah.
So like last year was great delayed for them, but you know, Horizon had been pushed back. You know, God of War Ragnarok had been pushed back. GT7, like, don't even want to talk about that. I was like, but that's the year they had because so many games got delayed, and that's why they had so many. But where are they at now? The only there's no like pipeline, right? Like with Xbox, we know we got this pipeline, right? And it's different. And the more studios they're adding to that, the more games that get announced. It's just like keeps adding upon it. And that doesn't even include these Game Pass deals like Exo Primal and shit like that. You know, it's like
the difference is, Mav, a lot of people still don't trust Microsoft to deliver what's in that pipeline. And I think
I agree with that. That's why on Microsoft. That's why we criticize them over their 12-month thing and stuff like that. And people don't understand why we criticize them over that. It's for that reason. Like, we live in this box where we love and we like talk about Xbox and like we're investing in the ecosystem. We're sold, right? There's a lot of people that aren't. right? There's a lot of people that aren't sold on it because of those narratives, and the Xbox got to do better to check those boxes to get out of their own way with those people, right? Not us, not the people watching this show right now. It's none of us, right? And
More so the casual, just brand new to the brand.
Has no idea
Yeah.
what's coming.
with my job, I do 2 jobs right now, but with one of my jobs, like I meet so many people and I get to talk to them sometimes about games. And when a gaming conversation comes up, it's just all PlayStation, right? It's all they want to talk about all the time. And like mention Xbox, it's like, oh, they don't have anything, right? And it's just like such an infuriating conversation because I'm like, yes, they do. They have all this stuff. And I'm like, what am I fucking trying to sell this person on Xbox for? Like, it doesn't matter. They can play whatever the hell they want to play. But until that narrative changes to the massive public, that's always going to be a thing. And I think it is now. I think it's getting there, right? But it takes a year like PlayStation falling on their face and Xbox succeeding really well to help turn those tides. With the third party
Also, I
deals,
think
though, it's
the
like
time
gonna
frame
be
between
hard.
Xbox's delays. Like a lot of stuff we're getting now from Xbox was supposed to come out a year, 2 years ago, and it just got delayed till now. So like, it's just the time that Xbox has, which all lined up for this year, pretty much.
Yeah, but I don't see it
go.
stopping with Xbox now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like this is kind of like the ripple year that we talked
Yeah.
about last
Mhm.
year. Like once they delayed Starfield and everything, we talked about like them having a ripple effect of games going forward. Like 2022, and I remember Pong. We all talked about this, where this needs to be the last year that ever happens with Xbox, especially with the amount of studios that Microsoft has. They have to they've made the purchase of a lot of these studios to funnel content into Game Pass on
And
like
it
a
seemed like
consistent base.
it seems like Sony, I guess, either had better development through COVID or they were farther along with those games that they were able to get out stuff throughout 2021 and 2022, and it just didn't hurt them as bad as it did Xbox.
For sure. Yeah. It's like it was probably a mixture of things. Like certain studios more cater to working remotely. Some, it was probably a mixture of a lot of things. I know some game dev friends that were doing mocap sessions in their closets, right? So it really depended on the studio whether they adapted or not, or some
Yeah.
studios probably was like as a nightmare because they
Yeah.
structure their studio into being there in person. I know Ninja Theory had a tough time adapting to the remote, and then they had to completely or figure out how to scan environments and stuff remotely. So last year was not a great year for Xbox, but we always said with a caveat where Xbox going forward is going to have a much better year starting in 2023, and it's going to be a ripple effect of just we just went through the list, right?
I mean,
Of
they
all
can't.
those
It's
studios.
like I can't even fathom them fucking up now that they own 40 fucking studios or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
after ABK too, it's
yeah.
like what
Yeah.
the,
And
How
after
can
ABK,
if you don't put out a game in 1 year and you have like fucking 40 studios, like you need to just like get out of the business. I don't know.
but it's going to be interesting because when we went through that list, right? Like we know all the 2023 stuff, right? For the most part, unless they have like one more big reveal, right?
Or some small like
Or
surprise
something
game.
else, some smaller.
Yeah.
We know pretty much 2023. This is the exciting part, right? This is why I wanted to talk about E3 today. Because with all that shit that we just talked about, all those games, everything that we just talked about, that list, we have no clue about anything for 2024. That's
And you know why that is? Because we only got a 12-month time frame.
Oh, shut up, Jasper. I knew you were going to say that. I was like, damn it, I just set himself up for that, didn't I? But that's why, though, that this E3, I think, is going to be special, right? Because a lot of us had assumed a lot of these games were hitting this year, or they had been announced for 2022, and they were delayed to 2023, right? So we had the 2023 timetable already kind of lined up before now. But leading up in the next 3 months, we have no timetable for 2024. So they got to drop a lot of announcements for new games. because they got to give us a slate for the year for next
Well, I mean,
year.
we only have like 2 games for the back half of this year, so
Right. We got it. Well, it could be something. That's what I'm saying.
still don't know
Hellblade,
when Forza is coming
Hellblade
out.
could be this year, right? Or it could have another smaller project for later this year. I mean, they pulled Hi-Fi Rush out their ass in January. Like, they could pull something else. But, like, next year, we got to get announcements,
Give it something to pull.
reveals, dates, all this stuff. And there's probably not going to be another Dev Direct before E3. So E3 is the time to go big on it, right? Like, E3 is the time to put the shit out on the table and say, look, you already know it's coming mostly for the second half of 2023. So we're not going to spend too much time on that. But, like, look, 2024, look at all this shit, right? Like, wow. You know, and we know that they're not going to spend a lot of time on that because they're separating Starfield as a separate show. So they're not going to dedicate a huge part of the show to like second half of 2023. I think the majority of this show is going to be for 2024 stuff because we have no clue what is happening in 2024 on Xbox right now.
well, I mean, think about it this way: we're only like E3 is the first 6 months of the year, and we already have like 15 fucking Xbox games coming out. So like, whatever the second half holds, they could have like fucking 15 more games come out the second half of this year. So, I mean, there's still a
Yeah,
lot of
we
stuff
have
they
no
could announce for
idea.
2023.
We
We'll
don't
get
know when Forza is coming out. We don't know what's coming out of the second half.
Age,
now-
Forza Motorsport, Starfield.
Yeah. Oh well, when's Age coming out?
They haven't
Fall.
announced yet the exact
Probably-
date, but second
So
Probably
they're probably going to be
anniversary.
pretty strategic of
Yeah.
where they're placing. Like Starfield's a great date.
I think Age 4 came
September.
out in October, so there'll probably be
Yeah.
like a anniversary event for it
Mm.
and drop it.
Okay.
I mean, they're
So
going to
we'll-
be
we'll
on a
see.
3 to 5 week cadence on games, probably still. I think so. It'll be interesting the second half. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped for
That's a great point, though, man. I seen it in that way, but the way you phrase it, it does make sense that we've already seen some of these games. Maybe we'll get some refreshers on
Yeah.
stuff like Forza or something, if it is later half. But I don't think we're gonna get Redfall there. We already had it, right?
Yeah, Redfall will be out by then.
Yeah,
you know?
Redfall will be
But you'll
out by
get
then.
Sea of Thieves and Minecraft.
You will get Sea of Thieves in Minecraft.
I mean, yeah, those are like guaranteed.
But maybe we get Everwild with Sea of Thieves, right? You know,
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. So yeah, maybe this showcase is focused on next year. Maybe the game, what's it called, with the box and the cars and the
Car Box.
my
the
brain.
box
Anyways,
and the car.
Contraband?
the games that are coming out in
Contra-
2020.
yeah.
No, the it starts with the C, Avalanche, or whatever.
Contraband.
Contraband.
Contraband. That's what I just said.
I was thinking of the trailer, the car, the box, the game.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get that in like 2024, and then updates on games we've already seen. Like State of Decay, I know is in a pretty decent place, so we'll see.
State of Decay 3. I thought that was pretty rough state, wasn't it?
I mean, not from what I heard.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Say that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Reverse this again. What just happened?
I mean, what?
So he said that State of Decay 3 is going along pretty good. I was like, from what I heard, it's in a pretty rough state. He's like, not what I heard. It's pretty good.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Okay.
my sources are wrong.
Your sources.
But
Yeah.
Right on. Wow. Well, everybody, we got one more segment to get here too. If y'all are hyped for E3, you should be. I think so. 90 days away, and it's gonna be a hell of a 90 days until then, because there's gonna be shit tons of stuff to play. Clearing that deck, baby. But we got this other segment here, and it's called
Who's your baby mama?
This is Tidbits, a segment on FSP where we look ahead at the games releasing this week. This isn't the best week, but there's some stuff. There's some cool stuff here to take a look at, and we're going to be looking at these games and the trailers to see if there's anything that you may have missed that you're excited to play. Shout out to Fuzzy again for sending the list this week. Appreciate that as always, dude. So
I'll have
let's
to look see if there's any shitty games coming out.
yeah, any shitty games.
I think you may have to mute some of the audio on these as well.
I'm just gonna start muting them all the time because I'm sick of fighting copyright claims over dumb songs. So this first game is called Legend Bruh. Legend of Heroes
fucking
Trails to Azure.
How did you miss this one? Peppa Pig World Adventures is coming out this week, and it's not on the list.
I'm sorry.
Legend
Peppa
of Heroes Trails to Azure is on PS4, Switch, and PC. It's $40. Coming out on the 14th. Is this a
Ooh, I like the art
old school
style.
JRPG here is what it looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, this reminds me
Whoa,
of like Skies of
I just got-
Arcadia and shit like back in the day.
I got seriously catfish with that art style.
It's PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, so
Yeah,
it's not even a
it's not
PlayStation
even
5
a
version.
yeah. What if it wasn't back compat? It's
Yeah.
skipping Xbox, so screw them.
Oh my gosh, this trailer is terrible.
Is it already on Xbox potentially?
I don't
Not
think
this
so.
particular one. Like there are other ones that are on Xbox, but
What game is
Like,
this?
I think there was like a Trails of Zero or something.
Yeah, it looks
Wait,
like
this shit came out in 2011.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. What's the name of this game?
the Trails of Azure. It looks like it's
Oh.
trying to be a Final Fantasy VII clone. Is what it looks
Yeah.
like.
That's
This
what
was originally came out for the PSP in
Oh,
2011,
okay.
I guess.
Kate says ass.
And see, that's the type of remakes or remasters I like to see these companies go with, like Final Fantasy, just like what is it? Fucking Suikoden 1 and 2. I kind of wish they've gotten those.
I think this is his Western release because it looked like everything before that was just like
Right.
Japan and Asia. So
It could be a great game, but
It could be.
I
It could
just
be
didn't-
fantastic.
I just didn't like the trailer editing.
Yeah. You're looking at the trailer edits. Of
Yeah,
course.
I mean that's literally my
Yeah.
job. So I look at
Um,
stuff like,
well, it sold 4.7 million copies. So
Wow.
well,
That's impressive.
you should have hired me.
Maybe
to do
I'll-
your trailer.
Maybe I'll get a Switch just to play Trails of Azure. We got the Wreck coming on PS4, PS5, Xbox. This is coming on everything. Xbox, everything, PS, everything, Switch and PC. $40, the Wreck. And this is happening on the 14th.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Ooh.
oh, is this like a car physics game?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw the eyeballs and I was like, oh, okay, never
It,
mind.
it looks like a driving / relationship game.
Oh, it's the artsy fartsy game you're looking for.
Oh, we just found out
Yep.
that mom might die is what they
There
just
we go.
said.
This will be
I just
in the
saw,
Game
like,
Awards.
the car wreck and it reminded me like Beam Engine or some shit like that. And I was like, oh, it's cool car physics game. Nope, it's a story game.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this looks depressing. There's
have
an
a pet
audience for
peeve.
these kind of games.
This game, which is a pet peeve I have with designing levels, but I won't go into it.
This has that As Dusk Falls kind of like stop motion-y type vibe to it a little bit.
Hey, your house is on fire, lady.
Yeah, I mean, I love story-based games like this, so I will definitely check it out. Maybe. What's it on?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Cool.
$40.
$40.
$40. $40.
Why
This
does it only say PlayStation 5 and 4? It's on everything.
it's
It's
on
their
everything.
trailer.
Yeah, it's a
This is a
okay.
PlayStation trailer.
Vulcan Lords of Mayhem.
This one looked interesting for like a interesting AA game.
Yeah. PS5, Series X and S, $40 on the 15th. Master unique fast-paced combat system.
Yeah,
Ooh,
this
this
is a
looks
good
like
trailer.
yeah, I'm liking this. Yeah, baby. What is this game? Vulcan.
But I like the
yeah.
shoot. It's like some Diablo.
Yeah, it's like a looter.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
I'm liking what I'm seeing here, baby.
What is
Woken
this?
Lords of Mayhem. Is next gen only too?
Said co-op. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Manscaped. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my kind of game looking here. I had no idea. That's on my radar now. I want to play that one
Whoa.
again.
Woken.
Oh, baby. It's short trailer too. So let's
You could
watch
wait
this
2
again.
days and play the Diablo 3 or Diablo 4 beta.
Yeah, well, I'll play Vulcan first. Let's go. Vulcan. Yeah. Ooh, big hand.
Okay.
Embark on a dark and
Oh, it's
epic
Cry
journey.
Engine 3. Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Oh, nice. It seems like
Didn't
the
they team
Crytek
up with-
finally licensed it to somebody.
Didn't Crytek and Xbox have some kind of thing going on?
Yeah, they
Ooh, look at
just
those
updated DirectX system.
outfits.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
we'll get some performance stuff happening finally. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe not.
Yeah, this looks good. Decide the fate of humanity. This is up my alley, everybody. Let's go. Pong will be excited about this one too. I know that.
Yeah, I think he's already tweeted about this game. I think
Has he?
that's where I saw it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I had to watch that one a couple times. I'm gonna skip one and we'll go back to that one last.
Yeah.
Next up is the Dark Pictures Switchback VR.
hmm Yeah,
It's
this
on,
is just PSVR 2.
yeah, $40 come VR 2.
I think this might already be on Oculus or on what do you call it? Meta Quest.
Gogol said he played Vulcan on the PC. and it
Yeah, it's been
plays
on
well.
PC for a couple years.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go. Plays good on gamepad, he said.
It's on Game Pass?
No, gamepad. He said it plays good on a controller.
I was about to be really surprised if that was on Game Pass.
This is this is not my kind of thing in this game. It looks cool though. I mean, out of the VR stuff I've seen so far, it looks better than
It's part of that
most.
Dark Pictures anthology. It's
Yeah.
just a VR version of it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's like a bunch of
pretty cool.
naked mannequins.
I like
Ooh.
Dark Pictures. I like Man of Medan. I mean, I feel like their later games got more glitchy, but
Yeah.
still good games.
Cool. Ooh, yeah. All right.
Super nice.
Next
I
up.
remember that E3 show where they showed that one game. I was like, ooh, Caitlin
Yeah. Oh god, what game was that?
It was a fucking
Was it Bayonetta?
no, it was that Xbox exclusive like Bright Memory Infinite or whatever.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they had the girl with the skimpy outfit with the cosmetics or whatever. You're like, ooh, oh yeah. That's right. That's funny. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. It's coming out on Switch for $60.
Mhm.
Not what I would want from Bayonetta, but maybe there's a fan out
Was
there.
that? Is this? Oh yeah, it's that stupid painting game.
Yeah.
I forgot about this game.
So did a lot of people.
I remember it was a big thing, like, oh, cool, finally a Bayonetta game. Or they're like, wait a minute, what? What is this?
It could be good. I don't know. Nothing. I
Sure
never
it will
seen
be.
like. I'm sure there's a lot of people like, ooh, this is gonna be amazing. I've never seen anything that got me excited to want to play this.
Art style is sick.
It's a Switch game.
I like the art style.
That's what they gotta do.
I think people are just gonna need to give it a shot. It's not the typical Bayonetta game, but I'm
Yeah,
I
sure
would have like
what it is.
see this. I feel like would have worked more turn based. Like do it like Paper Mario RPG or some shit. Like if you're gonna do this, like just do that.
The combat could be good.
Yeah, like the art style looks solid. Gameplay looks pretty cool.
Is this supposed to be kind of like a? Yeah, this is like Bayonetta's origin story. Like, so she's like younger here.
Yeah.
Looks cool. I mean, I would play it if it was like in a thing like Game Pass or something. You know, I would try it.
This is definitely not $60.
Yeah.
On March 17th again for $60.
Only on the Switch.
Only on the Switch. we got a game that I know some of you at least will be excited about coming out this week as
Yeah.
well. This one is WWE 2K23.
Let's go. My most played game, I think 2 years ago, or
I'm
maybe
sorry.
last year, was WWE. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, $70 on next gen only. Or no, wait, it's on everything. Sorry, I take that back. It's not on the Switch though. It's on PS4, PS5, Xbox One XS, PC, and it's 70 buckaroos.
Yeah.
17.
Getting pretty good reviews, surprisingly.
The next gen cross gen tax.
Yeah, the reviews are out.
Yeah.
What's
On
its
like
average?
meta or
What's its average right now?
8s and 9s.
That's its average is 8s and 9s.
Yeah.
What does anybody have the score for it? I'm just curious.
that's what I'm
meta
looking
score?
up.
I think meta was
84 on
85.
meta.
That's
Oh,
pretty
it's
good.
counting
That's
for
really
you.
good for
Yeah.
a game like this.
Yeah. I mean, that year off that they took really helped with 22. So
Yeah.
22 and 23 look like they're actually in better form these days.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty fun. Fun game.
Well, we got one more coming up, and this I gotta arrange some stuff here, guys. So bear with me. Do that. I gotta.
The drawback was, even though this one's coming to next gen consoles, the only decent video was the PC version of it.
Oh, really?
Wait.
Oh,
I'm
WWE's
messing
out
this
right
all
now.
up. Here we go.
I think with this game you can get it for free for the first like 7 days or whatever when it comes out. Like you can play it free for the first 7 days.
Yeah.
And it is Anno 1800 while he fixes this.
Yes.
It's been on the PC a
Sorry.
while. Strategy game, city
Ubisoft
management
game.
Yeah.
They managed to release a game
again.
again. All right, here we go. And is this in Game Pass or no?
No, you just get that
Okay.
7-day free weekend trial or whatever
Right.
that they're doing for it.
And this is a city builder.
Yeah, it's like city builder management thing. It's more like economy focused. You're trying to grow your city through like trading certain goods and harvesting certain goods and stuff like that.
Right.
Mhm.
I've never played this franchise before, but I am glad games like this are hitting consoles because they skip for so long. I am very intrigued with this. I actually want to try it, but it is $40. So, but it's also next gen only. It's PS5, Series X, and S. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe I would be willing to chalk up the $40 to give this a go.
The thing with this game is it's kind of hard to get into at the start, but the people who do get into it really love it. So it's just one of those things where it's once you do get sucked in, you can't leave it. And
Right. Cool.
Okay. The water and graphics look pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
I do like these style games. It's this is releasing on the 16th, everybody, for consoles. It's already out on PC. You want to play it there. But
Peppa the Pig. as
that's
well.
it. And Peppa the Pig, like Jasper said. Also on the 17th is the Diablo beta, closed beta, right? If you pre-ordered
and
it.
Exoprimal beta.
And we got the Exoprimal open beta on the 17th as well. So a good week.
The KFC, those codes that they get for their chicken sandwiches you can get, I think works for this week's open
does.
or
Yeah.
closed beta.
Yeah.
So you can buy. They got a cheap sandwich. I think it's like around $1 and $1.50, $2. So, and just do that. Buy and get a code instead of if you're still holding off for. If you don't want to spend the full price on the game just to play it early.
I thought it was only for the double downs.
Yeah, I thought it was only for the double downs.
just
Nope.
double
If you
down.
go to a website, it tells you which sandwiches are available, and there's the mini. It's the little chicken sandwich. It's like two things, like $1.99 or some shit, and it says code the Diablo 4 beta code. So I was like, The nearest one by me is like 15 minutes, so I'm debating if I want to drive 15 minutes just for a fucking chicken sandwich
Yeah.
to get a code.
The progress carry over for the regular game from
Not to the full game, but beta weekend progress carries over to open beta weekend.
Yeah. So I might do that.
And then don't you get, if you like reach level 20, you get a backpack or something?
Yeah, if you reach level 20 or something like that, you get certain items for the full game when it releases.
Okay. I'll consider. Betas don't usually excite me because like I just want to keep playing the fucking game. You know what I mean? I hate like, hey, you have to play, and if I don't have a lot of time that weekend, I just dabble here and there, and I don't really ever get anything accomplished, especially with how I play games. You know what I mean? So, but maybe if here's the thing: if I can get access and all I have to do is eat, I am pretty comfortable with that, right? I gotta eat food anyway. You know what I mean? So
The problem is you got to go to KFC.
yeah, but I'm trashy. Like I'll fucking eat whatever. You know what I mean? Kate wants this like nice food, and sometimes like, can I
They
just
got
get
really
garbage
good mac and cheese.
instead? Like,
I don't think KFC has really good anything.
They used to
Yeah,
have
got a
potato wedges,
KFC hater here.
and then they got rid of the potato wedges, and now I'm kind of
yeah,
pissed.
that was
They got rid of the wedges.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, that's
At
been
least in
like
my
fucking
area.
10 years, bro.
No, it's only been like
you-
a year. They got rid of
I
it.
haven't had KFC.
Well, I
in a
tried to
very
get
long
the
time.
alternative, which is Bojangles, and they ran out of chicken. So I was like,
That's
What
the
the heck?
Bojangles was good.
But I
how do
like
you run out of the main ingredient?
exactly, Buzzy, exactly. I freaking tried to get Bojangles, and then I had a lady call me like, "Hey, so I was gonna pick up your Bojangle order, but they're out of chicken."
That's
I'm
just
like,
because when you order food, everything, the world burns around you.
apparently
That's true.
I have
Okay, I
bad
still
luck
remember
with
that
it.
time that you ordered McDonald's to go, and like the person was waiting in line. You were like, "Why are they still at the restaurant?" And you're like, you figured out. So you ended up sending another driver. Then you sent like another driver, and like one of the drivers called you and told you that the manager's son broke his leg, so they had to like leave.
Yeah. I
Oh.
have some weird luck with
Like,
like
what the
ordering
hell?
food.
I have never been through a drive-through before, and they said we can't deliver our food because the manager's son broke his leg and he had to leave. I was
That's
like,
what he literally
whoa.
told me.
That was like,
It's
that
like,
is crazy.
I've heard the craziest stories.
And
trying
then
to
when you
order
did
food.
get food that night, you got like just nachos from Taco Bell when you ordered like 3 things.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I just gave up. I was like, okay, I'll get Taco Bell, and they didn't even give me my order. They gave me like 5 nachos in a little bag. I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I think the worst I've had is Subway for lunch when they ran out of bread.
Will they just deliver you
It's
some
like-
meat and cheese?
If you are at Subway, do not run out of bread. If you're out of Bojangles or KFC, don't run out of chicken. Those are like the
Yeah.
main things
Yeah.
that people go to your place for. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, they were like, we
Little
could do wraps. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not a like a sandwich wrap person, so I'm like, how do you run out of bread at lunch hour? Like, did you guys not know that lunch hour was coming up or something? Like, should have been baking that stuff, or just close your shop now. Nobody's eating salad over at Subway. I'm sorry. Just,
The other issue is everybody closes so damn early now. Like,
yeah.
That's
Oh,
the one thing that COVID fucked up.
I
Everything
know,
closes
man.
like
for me, it's like out of every shitty thing that's happened, like that's the thing that's affecting me the most is the hours of
No
all the stores.
24/7.
Like Walmart's not open 24 hours anymore.
No.
Fucking McDonald's is closed randomly at times. Like they changed the Starbucks hours now to like 7. That was a new thing this year. Even now they're closed at 7. Like places, please just go back and stay open late again so I can live my normal nocturnal life. Please. I hate like not getting your good garbage stuff because
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
yes, I want it all, man. Like I want places to go back to their regular hours, please.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I used to be one of those that would do grocery shopping after 9 p.m. just so there's less people in the grocery store. Now it's like, no, we close at 9. Like, what?
And Gogo Po makes a good point. There's a shortage of restaurant workers since COVID. Kids don't do fast food anymore. It's so sad. They got smarter. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
Well,
that's why.
because
After
you
COVID,
got
they're like, screw this.
well, COVID, they were giving you fucking like I was getting almost $1,000 a week just for being unemployed on COVID when my job laid me off.
Yeah, but
$1,000 a week.
that hasn't
I
lasted
was
2
not
years.
I was not fucking getting that when I was working. So these kids saw that and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. So they fucking they took the time and they probably got fucking went to school and got better job, but get educated and get better jobs because they're like, we like this
once
more
it was over.
money.
Yeah, fair.
there's a lot of other ways
Yeah.
to make money now too, besides
Yeah, like only hoes.
OnlyFans. Well, the kids shouldn't be having those accounts. Teenagers, no, but the 18 plus 20 something year olds, a young crowd, right? That used to work at all these places too. They're just like doing driving as well, like on the side, like Uber, fucking up 3 bits orders, right, from on the delivery side, you know. But you know, there's so many different ways of making money now, and like it's less appealing to go somewhere where you're making like $10 to $11 an hour, right? Starting out at a fast food place, I think. But just please make the fucking places open late. Like I don't. Whatever you got to do. Like I know McDonald's is experimenting with robot employees, so maybe that's the answer. I don't know. I just want to fucking go and not. Here's the other thing, McDonald's. I don't know what you do, but when McDonald's is one of the places that does stay open late here. Some reason after 10 o'clock, it's like they got one motherfucker working in that place, and they shut the other lane down, and it's like a line across the building, and it takes like 20 minutes per order. Like, and this is not just at one McDonald's. This is at every single one that around here. Got to have a couple more people at night, please. Just get on it. Get on it.
I think that's just McDonald's in general, because every time you go there at night, there's like so fucking slow.
How's their shake machine always broken?
It's not. They just don't want to use it
every single time. I haven't had like a McFlurry in years.
Yeah,
it feels like
they just don't feel like turning it on. Probably it's like
But there was like a whole lawsuit or investigation or
yeah.
The
like
McDonald's conspiracy.
There's to be a point where you're like, okay.
Actual franchise owners.
I watched that the Founder movie the other day about McDonald's.
That's a really good movie. That's one we love that movie.
Founder.
The Founder.
Yeah, it's about how McDonald's came about.
It has Michael Keaton in it.
Michael Keaton. Yeah.
Ray Kroc stole the effing idea.
Basically, he found the restaurant. They did the whole system for
Fast
McDonald's,
food.
and they had their restaurant is named after them. It's the McDonald's brothers, and so they named it McDonald's. And he discovered it, and he was like, "Let's franchise this." So he ended up doing a deal with them, and ended up like he was smarter businessman than they were, and he kind of like ended up paying them off.
He weaseled his way out of the contract to figure out he could buy all the land and put McDonald's on that and license out to McDonald's instead of actually.
So he kind of muscles his way in to kind of own the brand overall, right?
Wow.
So, but McDonald's, to his credit, still, regardless, McDonald's wouldn't be what it is today without that, right? So it's like scummy way of doing it, but they would never have turned it into this at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's two ways of looking at it. You guys
seen that Ford movie with the windshield wipers and how they stole the windshield wipers?
What?
From like this small. Okay, I gotta look that movie.
I think I know what you're talking about. It was like a
Volvo or something came up with the idea originally, I think.
Yeah, someone like created the windshield wipers. Like, why does rain keep getting on my car? What should I do? And he created and Ford is like, oh, that's nice, and they stole it, and he fought for like 15 something years in court. And his family like was thinking about leaving him and everything because he was so obsessed with like he's like, no, I created it. So, dang, what was that called?
The windshield wiper man.
Flash of Genius.
The wiper.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Kearns takes on Detroit automakers who he claims stole his idea for the windshield wiper.
Who's in that?
Check it out. It's who is this guy? Lauren Graham, Greg Kinnear,
Greg Kinnear,
Alan Alda.
Alan Alda.
I don't know.
Alan Alda's great. Alan Alda's great. Anyway, all right. Well, I guess that's this.
That was
weird little
movie and food talk.
Yeah, movie and food
Yeah,
talk.
new segment.
Right after tidbits. Talk
Yeah.
about movies.
We are going to be heading out now, and appreciate everybody watching the show. You all rock. Thanks for tuning in. If you do like the content here on Fun Speculation, remember, hit that like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get everybody out of here. Fuzzy, where can everybody find you?
Oh, awesome being here with you guys. Thanks to everyone that came and watched us live and will catch this on replay. If you want to hear my rambles or rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. And look forward to seeing you guys all again here Friday at 10 p.m. right here on this channel on Xbox Ultimate.
Right on, man. Thanks, Fuzz. What about you, 3-Bit?
Everyone can follow me on the Twitters at i3bit. I am on this show, and I like to randomly pop up on Fridays when I can for Xbox Ultimate. Other than that, every Wednesday you can expect to see my Q&A show where I go into gaming topics of the week, and also at the end try to go into like game design stuff, like how to animate certain things and levels and things like that. I'll do at the end of the show. So appreciate chat. You're awesome. Why So Serious, Sky L, Froggy, everybody else that I can't get to, Vic, Click, of course. Thank you guys for showing up every single FSP episode. Love y'all, and I will check you guys out on the next episode. Bye.
Right on, man. Thanks, 3-Bit. Psycho Knots, what about you? Thanks for hopping in. I know you still got a headache and stuff, so thanks for joining us regardless.
Yeah, the nauseous kind of went away, so I'm, still rocking the headache, but awesome to do FSP with you guys. It's fantastic. Always talking about gaming news, not just Xbox. And chat, you always on fire, always bringing it. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming out, and definitely catch me here, of course, every Monday on FSP at 10, and Fridays at Xbox Ultimate at 10 o'clock as well. We go every which way, and it's a great time spending your Friday night with us. Thank you. And I guess Jasper, or did you already do Jasper?
Jasper still got to go.
Yep.
Jasper, how you been? I mean, where can
Hi.
people find you, Jasper?
Lord Jasper Twitter. Oh wait, I forgot. I already messed up. You fucked up my outro.
Yeah,
So yo, chicken.
No.
Lord Master Jasper on YouTube, Lord Jasper Twitter, AI Game News on Twitter, and Twitter finally, I guess, unlocked that account so more people could see it or some bullshit. I don't know. I got some random message on today about that. Artificial Game News on YouTube. Need to get back to doing stuff there, but I'm thinking about dropping some stuff on my main YouTube channel coming up in the next few days, so check that out. Maybe some Starfield stuff. And then Monday and Friday, 10 o'clock, FSP and Xbox Ultimate right here on Fun Speculation Network.
Right on. Appreciate it, guys. And chat, again, thank you, and we'll see you all later this week. Thursday, PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern, Pong Soul and I. Hopefully we have some gaming news to talk about then. And then Friday night, Xbox Ultimate, same thing. Hopefully we get some news this week. If not, we'll be talking about maybe these betas and stuff coming up that we're all excited to play. But have a good one, everybody. Peace.
Like,